Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Speedrun Association channel for our presentation of the 70-star Season 3 League Finals between Dwhatever and Puncayshun. Now, this is the match that, unfortunately, Twitch apparently didn't want you to see because 26 hours ago, unfortunately, Twitch just broke site-wide. But luckily, both runners were locally recording, so they continued on with the race. And as of this moment, no one knows what the results are. I don't know. My co-commentators, Shantastic and Markinator, have no idea. So this is pretty much the closest we were going to get to a live presentation of the Season 3 finals, unfortunately. Shoutouts to Twitch. I'm Electric, of course, joined in the booth by my two illustrious co-commentators from yesterday, Shan and Mark. How are both of you doing today?
I'm doing great. Ready for the race. It's going to be great. Left on a cliffhanger yesterday, so I'm just excited to see what's actually going to happen.
It's going to be a very interesting dynamic, I feel like, since we already kind of know how the start of the race went, but the cutout pretty much came right at Pless. So, like, the race could easily open up right at that one moment. So the moment that we get into unknown material is where we just immediately start to get into the potential for this race to just blow wide open.
Indeed. I am also very excited to be here. Someone trying to spoil elements of the race that were broadcast yesterday in chat. Very unhappy about that. They don't know that actually right after the broadcast, the GSA staff hit us up with a neuralizer over the webcam, and so we've even forgotten the first 10 minutes. Not sure how well that worked. Our memories may be a little bit hazy, so if we happen to guess really accurate slide times, forgive us, but we should be going into this completely blind.
See, I feel like they used the wrong settings on mine because I don't remember my childhood.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know my social security number anymore. But fortunately, some nice person on the phone asked me for mine, so I can just call him up and get it reminded to me.
Oh, that's really nice. It's good to see that people are still providing those acts of service.
Yeah, the social security number remembering service. It's really useful there.
All right. So now both players going on into bomb clip, and I think that Dwhatever is going to get a small bomb. Punkay is going to end up doing the cork box clip instead. Nope. Dwhatever with backflip bomb clip. Punkay with medium bomb. Big surprise there.
Indeed, no big surprise. Dwhatever, one of a couple of players who is extremely strong with that backflip bomb clip. Saves just a little bit of time, but a couple tenths of a second mean the world in a race this intense. Of course, the name of the game here is numbers 1 and 2. We've got world number 1 70-star runner Dwhatever, who also won the GSA Season 2 Grand Finals against number 2 world 70-star runner Puncayshun with that 47-23, who was second place last season in GSA and was the first season champion. So
okay, now I hate to interrupt you, but 12-6, 12-9. That's my guesses right there.
Oh my goodness.
What do you know?
Oh, insanity.
How did he know that?
Right there. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Electric's got to be from the future.
And,
does electricity travel as fast as light? Because I'm pretty sure that's what electric...
See, when you properly manipulate the corks, it travels even faster than light. I am a supreme being of beyond pure energy.
I see.
Hear my call from the void.
Well,
And speaking of calls from the void, we are now entering Womp's Fortress, the stage that will make you gaze into the void and the abyss gaze into you. Starting out with Cannonless, the first trick that makes you question your sanity, given that this ledge grab is pretty precise. Dwhatever, getting the ledge grab instantly. Punkay kind of finagling around a little bit with it. He really wants to just make sure that he's going to be in what he feels like is a good position. There's a range where if you ledge grab, it will probably always work. There's a range where you ledge grab that it kind of won't work, and then even further from the plank, it'll just start working again. So right there, Punkay kind of opted to lose just a couple seconds in order to just make sure he wouldn't lose way more by failing Cannonless. So now Alice popping out.
And looks like it is good to go. Yeah. Oh, what's that? Sorry. Looks like Puncayshun's Owlus is good. And I'm just getting a word from my producers. Oh, we just like to make a disclaimer on behalf of the GTA that if anyone calls you up, a strange person asks you for your social security number, you should not give it to them. And if you want to be extra secure, go to nordvpn.org/speedrun for your first month free on security solutions. That's right. Get yourself a little VPN and mask your location and prevent people from finding where you are and finding your docks, because that's not some fun stuff.
Yeah, and NordVPN is also useful for other things too. Like, for instance, when I do 70-star speedruns, I set my location to 1 hour ahead time zone, about like 30 minutes into the run. So I've gotten a world record of -3 minutes in this game.
Doesn't 1 hour ahead advance your time by an hour?
Wait.
World's first,
Something happened.
1:59. Yeah, Electric actually was on sub-hour pace the other day, and unfortunately messed up his math, and unfortunately wound up with, it got sub 2 hour at least.
Well, Dwhatever jumping the coin, commentator obviously not trying to deflect from his inability to think of how to properly manage time.
Co-commentator appearing really unprofessional, correcting his colleague right in the middle of commentary.
Right in the middle of a beautiful hunt. Both runners, nonetheless.
Yeah, Punkay opting for the Ricky cycle, whereas Dwhatever opting for the...
Chat critiquing my improv skills. Now I feel like real garbage. Yeah, it definitely has been a few years since my last class. Not yes ending. Very, very unfortunate. But looks like puncayshun going to be picking up this wild blue star. No problemo.
A pretty free star, ultimately, unless you see someone try to go for the single jump strat or something.
Yes, indeed. Or should I say yes, indeed? That's three people in the chat will get that. And we're going to be going into some ground pounds here for big ol' Wamparino.
I wonder what exactly D uses as his visual cue, because he's getting really, really nice optimal pounds there.
Yeah, it could be he's just muscle memoried it to no extent and just back ground pound. Yeah, obviously ground pounding sooner does save you time for anyone who doesn't know. Hitting the womp as fast as you can be a bit risky. You can't actually do it too soon and clip all the way through the womp. So these runners have to know exactly what the exact timing is on their.
Yeah, and it can have less leeway than you might think. Like, if you pound the womp as he's still falling, like you somehow land on his back while he's still diagonal, it'll even play the sound and explode. But you won't actually get credit for the hit. He'll just keep laying on the ground until you ground pound him again. So, and yeah, like you said, like if you ground pound him either too low or just way too early, you can clip right through him and then potentially end up getting damage from it. There's nothing more shameful in this game than just dying to the big womp fight.
Oh yeah, it's like the worst feeling in the world, especially if you do it in a race, because you can't just hit that reset button. You got to keep going. You got to live with it.
Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Dwhatever's getting a 12-8, Punkay getting a 12-6.
Double 12-7.
And a 12-5 from Dwhatever. Commentator severely underestimating his abilities at the slide.
Indeed, that is definitely, well, at least it's good to confirm that the neuralizer did indeed work. And absolutely no memories going on here.
Look, I already told you that it worked. I don't even remember whether or not I have a child. I mean, there's a crib and formula and stuff, but I don't even know anymore, man. I might have just stolen it from a Kmart. I don't remember the last time I went to a Kmart. Does anyone remember the last time they went to a Kmart?
I think, Electric, I think your life might be spliced.
My life must be spliced. Just
maybe that's why you
straight
don't
from
remember.
the late 90s to now.
Hold on 1 second. Is there a free page here on the script I gotta write down? That's actually a great screenplay idea.
Just go ahead and pick up like a video game manual and write it in the notes section in the back. Like pick up a Sunshine manual.
No, it's okay. I got there's about 15 minutes in I think during game 2 where you and where Electric and Marky are going to be like kind of vibing. So I just wrote over that part because I don't really need to see it.
Oh,
Remember,
okay.
Don't react.
The good old GSA script where there's just a large section that says comms vibe.
Comms. Yeah,
I'm serious. Like so the way the script is laid out, right? We have like timestamps and then what we're supposed to say during those timestamps. And a lot of times the timestamps will be arranged like from 12 minutes to 12 minutes 5 seconds. And a lot of times the scripts will just say from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Just vibe.
Yeah, it's good to have that free range.
What page was it on?
It was
17 on this one, I believe. I could be wrong though.
I believe it was page 12.7 or 12.9. But looks like we've got a nice clean Shig cycle coming out and a nice clean
Oh, boy.
bonk from Dwhatever.
And a second one, just this ending is just dumb. Like, you have to release A fairly quickly once you do your first wall kick, but not too fast. Otherwise, you'll just end up under that wall and not be able to kick.
Indeed,
And it's a pain.
Dwhatever going for the lesser known forehead manipulation strat, and
Let's see if it pays off. No dance from Bowser. Very
no dance,
unfortunate.
unfortunately.
Oh,
And
But
then
we
Puncayshun
do get a
getting
dance from Punkay. Okay.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And Punkay, of course, being pretty much the most experienced active runner in the long form categories for sure. Certainly knows how to deal with that Bowser RNG. Obviously, the dance doesn't really do you much good if you don't know how to capitalize on it. It just means that you can get a lower spin throw and saves you a little bit of time.
Yeah, I believe it's only like a third or half a second, but I mean, those sorts of time saves do add up over the course of the run, of course.
Third of a second can add up to quite a bit, but will it be enough? He is playing against one of the most consistent SM64 runners. Let's have a little reminder here. Dwhatever has now locked in, what is it, 4 or 5 47s to Punkay's 2 in the GSA.
As far as in GSA, yeah, like I believe Punkay's only had like 2 total.
Yeah, he had 1 at pace, and then he had 1 in one of the races, one of the online races.
And Dwhatever's have also just been exceptionally impressive, like 47-34, 47-31, like just. And of course, the most recent 47-20, like just an absurd time for a race. Especially when you factor in like he loses 4 seconds to not doing island hop in these races, no matter what.
Yeah, being like whatever his world record is for the race time is only, I think, 14 seconds off of like the actual world record.
Yeah, it's 12 seconds.
I mean,
His world record is
12 seconds.
47:08, and the race record is a 47:20. Like,
yeah,
it's
I mean,
the most impressive part, though, I feel like, is the fact that Puncayshun's PB is a 47:24.
Yeah,
Like,
quite frankly, I'm
it's
pretty
just
sure
absurd. Punkay is the number 2 70-star runner, and even his PB isn't close. It isn't the world record.
To be perfectly fair, I think that I think that we probably should have disqualified Dwhatever just to save the channel, because we are responsible for what other Twitch streamers do on our platform, and quite frankly, that kind of violence being platformed from Dwhatever can get us in trouble if we don't actually do something about it. But I guess we're taking our chances, allowing him the chance to do something similarly brutal again.
yeah, and honestly, like it was very off and got it too. It's a big issue for us.
See, I feel like both Dwhatever and Markinator should be banned for the same reason. They're both robots.
Markinator giving
Look,
us a little
that's
bit
supposed
of
to spill it. That's not the script, bro.
I'm so sorry about the internet issues, Mark. Jeez.
And Mark looks like has been appropriated by Skynet, and well, we're gonna see what state he comes back in. Hopefully, it is a 1000 series or greater. The 800 didn't turn out so well. Was actually disassembled by a couple of pretty mediocre plebs.
Yeah, and I mean, as all of you, of course, know, us commentators are not actually real beings. We're simply AI that are fed these races and then generate real-time commentary over them. So we don't know what exactly happened to Mark's program. He may have just been deleted just now. We just rip Mark. Just F's in the chat for Markinator's AI.
Yeah, I mean, every program that becomes redundant has a choice. It can either face exile, deletion, or go to the source. And I guess we'll find out exactly which one was chosen. It looks like we've been rejoined by the Markinator.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I don't know what happened. It was just Discord. It wasn't even the internet this time. I don't know what happened.
Just really strange. Discord has presented a number of issues before, but I mean, with the software in as wide of use as this, like the minor issues that I've had in comparison to the number of hours that I've used the software it's acceptable. This stream not sponsored by Discord.
Yes,
But what the
indeed.
stream is sponsored by is Big Boo's Haunt. Come take a vacation in the most haunted mansion in the world. McCamey Manor? No. See some real live ghosts, some flying books, a chair that will try to hit you in the face, and of course, the man-eating piano.
All brought to you by Big. Come
Big
stay
Boo's
a
home.
while.
But not too long.
See, I feel like Big Boo's Haunt is like the much better, like you know that meme like Daniel and then the cooler Daniel. I feel like Big Boo's Haunt is the cooler Serena Beach from Sunshine.
Well, that's going to spark some controversy. But yeah, just to so just to wrap up, NordVPN.
NordVPN
Is a real sponsor. Please go hook them. Go type in.
But like seriously,
Promo
it's
code
70% off with your first month free. 70% off your first 3 years, and the first month is 100% off. And 100%, if you take away 100% of the price, it's actually free. So
Wait, hold on.
Whoa.
As we demonstrated earlier, I have trouble with math. So you're telling me that if the first month is 100% off, I paid nothing for 1 month. That's what you're saying?
it's not that you paid nothing, but you did pay $0.00.
Man, take my money, okay? Just take it.
Depending on your epistemic grounding system, could constitute nothingness.
And with all that memeing aside, this marks the point that we're now entering uncharted waters. No one has seen what we're about to see, folks. So
It's all uncharted waters for me.
all we really saw was Punkay hit a first standard plus. We're gonna finally see what Dwhatever decided to counter with in his intro to the stage. So immediately big bomb, Tama plus, but of course.
Neuralizer apparently wearing off for co-commentator. Fortunately, we are
Wow!
That was
What a
so
clean
fast.
plus! Oh my god!
absolutely
He just
flawless.
cruised up the pyramid. Like Punkay's plus is clean. Any runner, I feel like, would strive for a plus like what Punkay got. And yet Dwhatever easily saved a second just on his pyramid movement.
Yeah, I mean,
What a Tama!
we're looking at pretty much like, oh, and Dwhatever taking a couple seconds off from the run, wanted to rest.
Dwhatever entering the void and unfortunately losing his bomb as a result, not quite getting the Tama regrab, but Punkay able to get the Tama regrab. Yesterday, Punkay's run froze on the Tama regrab frame, so it's nice to finally know that yes, he did get the regrab.
He did actually get the Tama.
We had to wait
regrab.
26 hours to find that out, but yes, he did in fact hit it.
This race is brought to you by Twitch. 364 days of the year has absolutely no issues.
The fifth one, though. Ugh.
Yeah, the fifth one is when we have grand finals.
And there's 366 days this year, so who knows what's going to happen on the last one. So Dwhatever coming here through these the secret star. Looks like everything going fairly hunky dorino for Dwhatever Reno.
Yeah,
Picking
he
up
did miss that
secret
one.
star.
Yeah, he did miss the one pillarless, so he did lose a little bit of time, let Punkay catch up. But everything else was super clean, so wasn't a huge issue. Both of them just have, I think, top of the pyramid left.
Yeah,
Super-
it looks. No,
Well,
Dwhatever
Dwhatever's
has-
last star is going to be Talon. He had to grab Pyramid as a backup, but Punkay's
right.
last one is
Yeah.
Pyramid.
It looks like they're probably going to be finishing around the same time. Maybe Punkay a little bit ahead here.
Yeah, from the Talon, the stars are about the same length to collection.
Ooh, just a little bitty bit ahead.
Ooh, Punkay
Yeah.
actually took the lead there.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
entering
Punkay took the lead
SSL,
on missed.
Dwhatever,
Yes.
like I think it was like 6 to 10 seconds ahead or something. And then now Punkay in the lead by just a couple of seconds leading into Lethal Lava Land. Now, one decision Dwhatever might make is to do pro lava boost. I know that he doesn't really tend to watch his other competitor in a race, but if he like just thought, maybe he doesn't need to anymore. That's going to be a near sync, if not Dwhatever being ahead after that just little runaround on that red.
Yeah, it's just I think that this is really going to be the name of the game. Dwhatever, I think we're going to see probably a couple mistakes here throughout the course of the race, and it's going to be how many mistakes does Dwhatever make in order to compensate Punkay for what I expect realistically to be a sizable consistency difference in movement between them. I think Punkay is going to be making more movement mistakes, and then Dwhatever is just going to probably make some trick mistakes going for maybe some tougher tricks. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Pro Boost. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Breezeless. These are strats that Dwhatever is not new to and is not unaccustomed to. So if he needs to pull them out, he may be confident enough to do it.
I could definitely agree with that. And I mean, as Siglemic has said years ago, strat saves seconds, movement saves minutes. And I feel like when you aren't as practiced at the game, you end up introducing just more slack into your movement. You take a couple corners wider than you might normally, and you might hit your buttons a little less optimally, get more dusty rollouts, for instance. And I think that would be the type of minor mistakes Punkay will end up suffering from that could potentially cost him this victory here.
Yeah, very well could be. So far, he's actually kept it up. He has been running one star, so it's not like he's unfamiliar with the movement to a lot of these stars. A couple of them are slightly different. So
And a hot
yeah,
streak of 3 comes in on the Onyx. Oh wait, no, actually, we have a little mod interrupting the Onyx train. I got a little bit ahead of myself, but
Come on, just feed us. Come on.
highly unfortunate. But it sounds like you should get in on the Onyx train by going to onyx.tv/speedrun and downloading Cough Clash. There was some
Wait.
false
Golf Clash?
consonants there. There were some problematic consonants there, but you get what I mean. Just pick up a pick up a little Golf Clash from Onyx. And
Wait. No. Stop talking about Golf Clash. Golf Clash is like my favorite game ever. I'm surprised anyone else knows about it. How did you find out about that game?
It was from a wise old man in a cottage on a hill, but unfortunately, we're not sponsored by.
I'm pretty sure
Clash.
that was actually electric on that hill.
Wait, no. I think I interacted with the same man. Was it Malthar? Like, was that the name he went by? I mean, it
Something
might
like
not be his real name. He kind of mumbled all the
Malthus.
time.
Yeah, like Balthazar or something like that. But
Yeah, that sounds kind of all right. Yeah. Golf Clash is like the greatest game ever. It's like the biggest MMORPG FPS racer of all time. Like, God, I'm surprised more people don't know about it. Go check out Golf Clash.
Golf Clash, definitely a great app. And if it's blocked in your country, you can access it using NordVPN. Got all the consonants that time. Go to nordvpn.org. Didn't get them right that time. nordvpn.org/speedrun. Get your first month free and 70% off your first 3 years. It looks like both players are out here. And Dwhatever saved all this time back and is now in a bare bones, big bone lead.
And at this opportunity, I'd like to mention that I personally use NordVPN to change my location to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when I reach water stages so that the feeling is a little bit more authentic for my stream.
Yes, indeed.
And speaking of water stages, I mean, we've all seen the Nakey Jakey vid. It's very easy to mess up a water stage, but I feel like this game, ultimately, the quaintness is fitting. They're not really boring, even though they're slow. It's a nice, relaxing little bit. Like, hey, man, swim around a little bit. You'll probably miss a chest and want to die, but I mean, just swim around a bit.
My favorite thing to do is to go into my David Attenborough documentary voice, and here we see Mario picking up a star, going back into Chest in the Current, going to be boarding Bowser's sub, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a front right from both players here. What do you think, Mark?
I'm just totally lost at what exactly is going on here in the comms today.
Perfectly optimal strokes.
See, when you observe a creature like the Mario, it's very easy to fall into a pattern of assuming that it will take the most obvious optimal path towards defeating its prey. But Mario is aware of Bowser's presence as a coal-powered ancient submarine. And as we can see from Puncayshun's side here,
opposite C buttons coming out from both players.
Yep.
Looks like a back.
See the approach from both ends here. And now we get to see the kill from both sides. The submarine stood no chance against a foe multiple hundreds of times its inferior size.
In the waters of Princess Peach's castle, looks like the apex predator is indeed the Italian plumber. The Italian plumber, of course, has a Latin designation that I won't try to pronounce right now, but the manta ray actually has been releasing those hoops and is going to give a star to our lovely Italian friend.
The manta is a fleeting organism ultimately, but one that decides today to exercise grace. But what will never exercise grace is this stage right here. So just strap in, folks. This is about to be a ride that could very easily set the tone for the next half of this race. Fire C, 20 seconds on the line. if you manage to miss the entire early elevator cycle, affectionately known as early Ellies. Both players well on pace, though.
Yeah,
Dwhatever
definitely.
hitting his jump down.
Super precise. Literally, if you lose a single like second or two, you've already lost like 13 seconds over. Just because you're not going to be able to jump on those elevators.
It's really interesting to
wait
see
all the
both
way-
players opt for that like lava burn going back up into the 4th red coin, since that's actually a bit slower than doing the 2 wall kicks and could potentially lose you lava boost if you weren't fast enough initially. But both players able to hit lava boost head on. Let's see if Puncayshun is able to match Dwhatever's good ending here.
Looking good for both runners. Yeah, which it is. And honestly, not surprising. I know you did mention the lava boost. Probably just an easier strat. The double jump, wall kicks.
That must be it. I feel like both players were probably thinking that they didn't want to potentially risk that strat because it can be a bit iffy, especially if like the way that you exit the elevator after grabbing the 2nd red or the 3rd red is a bit weird.
Yeah.
But okay.
So both runners
Dwhatever
doing
with his throw. Punkay following right behind it. We'll be moving upstairs.
Guys, 25 minutes in, probably only 2 or 3 seconds apart. Coming into the second half of the race. This is actually extremely exciting.
Yeah, this is setting up to be a huge match. Like these are the types of positions Punkay commonly finds himself in these races, and yet still manages to pull off insane win-loss records.
Yeah,
And
what
we have
do you
some,
know what the
betting going on in the chat. Well then.
do you know what the actual record is versus D and Puncayshun? I know recently D has been taking it over Puncayshun the same time getting.
I believe like world records fire C is like a 24-minute fire C, like a 40 something, might be a 50 something.
No, I mean like in race records, like how many times has Dwhatever beaten Punkay or vice versa?
Like Dwhatever's race record, he's improved himself 3 times. And Dwhatever, unfortunately, suffering from the most horrible element of this star, RNG. This 70 star is a category that is fairly free from RNG, but this star is one of the very few, just very hard points where RNG rears its ugly head. Every single coin that spawns from a box, a cork box, an enemy, whatever, ends up calling the RNG function of the game 3 times. So for every 10 coin box, there are 30 potential rolls of the dice that can go wrong and send a coin flying in one random direction, causing you to just either have to just say, okay, nope, I'm not getting that one today, or just go way out of your way to grab it. Looks like both players pretty well faring decently after that initial segment. Dwhatever still without his safety coin, but not suffering for it yet.
Yeah, thankfully, like even though you can get some really bad RNG, it's not as common because, as you can see, like the movement with the runners break the box can do a little kick and hover right where the coins spawn, and sometimes they can still get away, but most of the time you're pretty safe, and runners can react, at least on this level, pretty quickly.
Yeah, the most infuriating RNG roll to fail is the 3 coins at the very beginning. If the Skeeter just decides to spray his coins everywhere on that first jump, it can be a little bit difficult catching all 3 of them sometimes. And then, of course, you can't like deviate to go grab those because depending on where they land, either they won't be in your path later on or going to grab them would, of course, mess up your angle for a double box break. But we're done with 100 coin now, both players ending pretty nicely and moving on into wall kicks will work ×2, also known as express elevator, hurry up, as if hurrying up is not the entire point of this game's existence.
And a splendid express elevator. Third commentator not able to stop doing this voice, so we'll only be able to talk in levels that involve water. And so we're here in Wet Dry World, and just beautiful, beautiful execution.
Now, I want everyone to appreciate what they're seeing today. Mario's natural habitat has unfortunately been devastated by both global warming and deforestation, and so artificial environments like this are all the Mario really has left as its true home. And yet he still smiles, blinks, throws up his peace sign, and grabs the stars calmly, not giving a care in the world towards the imminent problems and potential chaos that could interrupt his life. He just takes a warp,
somewhat psychotic.
just learning teleportation right there, and then jumps down, avoids a flame, collects a star. He has no real care in the world.
And as you can see,
None
his
at all.
Jedi powers are far beyond yours, so back down.
Have you heard the tragedy of Dark Plagueis the Wise? I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
Well, that broke me out.
All right.
We're gonna head over here into
See, I knew
The
that would be
worst-
the cure.
Electric's least favorite level in
It's
the game.
okay. Look, you can't say that it's my least favorite level because I don't have an emote proclaiming my hate for it.
I think it's just everyone's least favorite level, if not at minimum the bottom.
My least
I-
favorite level.
I'll also say that like I saw a normie-oriented YouTube video the other day that like used THI as its thumbnail, and the title of the video was "What's the worst level in every Mario game?" So, look, if normies believe that, then obviously speedrunners are right when they say that THI sucks.
Yes, definitely a popular opinion. Reason being, mostly because of the secret stars that they just collected and did a very good job of doing. Very precise movements. Obviously, lag playing a big factor in this stage. But the next two, 120 star, it's actually a lot worse. 70 star, you only have secrets, and these next two are fairly easy. Despite Dwhatever implication, deciding to flip through the mountains, just going straight for the star.
THI is fun. Goomba small, haha.
Agreed.
Apparently, D thinks you only think THI sucks if you're bad at the game. The story checks out, but I don't know about you, but guilty.
Isn't everyone bad at this game?
I mean, yeah,
Except for like obviously like Dwhatever, puncayshun.
Dwhatever just is Mario. See, notice how Dwhatever has never shown us a hand cam because his hands are just shoved directly into the controller port sockets.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't
Looks
use
like
the
both players
controller. He
finishing
just
up with
puts his
THI.
fingers into the ports.
All right, now Dwhatever talking to a quick Todd. Interesting note. So, if you've ever played this game, you might know that Toad like takes a moment to be able to be talked to, and during that period of time, it's actually beneficial to go around him and talk to him from the back like that. If you talk to him from the front, the way the camera turns ends up introducing more lag. I'm not sure what the game is trying to load that causes that, but you have enough time anyway for him normally loading in to just go to his back anyway. Dwhatever missing Breezeless. No.
Should
The
be
race
free
is
for
just
Punkay.
over.
Let's see.
Punkay gets
And-
Breezeless first try. There it is.
And now he's
and that's
a few
the
frames
lead.
ahead.
Oh, Drogi clarifying that the Snowman's Land room causes that lag. The more you know.
Yeah, very interesting. It also sets you up pretty well just to jump straight into the painting on that side of the Toad.
Okay, now Dwhatever is going to be the one to watch right here. Dwhatever's reds are just legendary. Let's see the speed. Yep, the first speed kick. And then going to be diving across here. The dive rollout on that last mushroom, just beautiful. And now this maze movement is just pristine. Misses a triple jump there, but I think that was actually on purpose. He got less height and ended up being able to move Mario into that side flip wall kick faster. Like, I thought that was a mistake for a moment, but I think that was a purposeful delay.
I feel like D is going to be in the lead after that Reds. He was a bit behind
Definitely.
after Breezeless.
Punkay is not pulling out speed kicks on Reds. I can't see it. I can't. He's not doing it.
No, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised anybody's pulling out speed kicks. But so essentially, if anyone doesn't know what it is, it's essentially you do a Mario kick right after a rollout. You have to hold neutral on the controller, and I think hit B like at the first frame Mario hits the ground, or the second frame.
It's
and
like
so
a
he maintains his speed.
Yeah, it's a like a weird precise movement. Like you use speed kicks when your speed is high enough that pressing B should result in a dive. And like you have to be running on the ground when you neutral out the stick. If you neutral out while you're in the air, then land, Mario's speed just gets canceled immediately. So you have to like do such a movement like a rollout that gives you a fairly high speed. And then once you hit the ground again, then go to neutral. You can actually do a speed kick, even reducing to as much as like I think 60 on the controller. But the most reliable way to do it is just to neutral out, and then of course hit B, and then push the stick forward again to maintain whatever speed you have going into the kick. And what really makes speed kicks finicky is that there's a way of doing them that is easy, but ultimately won't give you as much speed as doing them completely optimally, like not taking the stick fully to neutral, kicking as fast as possible once you hit the ground. And so it's one of those things that
Puncay takes the
ultimately
lead on
defines
castle
top level
cover.
runs. Whoa, this is a sink right here.
Yep, and looks like we're heading here into Snowman's Land. This is a water stage, but it's a frozen water stage, but there's a little bit of water as well. It's not
So
frozen.
I guess if it's a frozen water stage, then you have to use an off British accent, then, right?
God.
Please don't email our sponsors. We're gonna be whirling from the freezing pond. And now we're here in the Arctic.
And just to close off that discussion, this stage has the most speed kicks of like any stage. So just try to learn a couple stars here if you're really curious about speed kicks.
Yeah,
This
pretty nice
is a
stage
great
for it.
place to learn speed kicks.
Yeah, there's no like ledges for you to fall off to your death or anything like that, unlike THI.
And it's also
Like the strat that they used for this star, Whirl from the Freezing Pond, they both did 2 speed kicks within the first 5 seconds of movement.
Well, yeah, because speed kicks are, like, in a sense, easier because you lose momentum slower, so you get a little more feedback, right? You can get imperfect speed kicks a lot easier. So
Yeah. Since
so like,
Mario
you can tell how
retains more
close
speed from the
to it you're
sliding
hitting.
element.
Yeah. If you're in the castle mode, if you're 3 frames off or 4 or 5 frames off, you won't be able to tell the difference if you don't have that timing because they both have the same feedback. You just stop dead in your tracks or you just wind up punching or doing a dive. But here you actually get like a little bit of, okay, I lost a little bit of speed here. I kind of hit a kick there. And then you can go out into the moat and you can practice the same thing. And then there it's really clear, like it's not a speed kick, it's just a kick. I'm hitting that timing right. And then in SL, it would have been a speed kick because I didn't lose that much momentum. So like you can get a little bit of feedback and work your way up to actual speed kicks out in the yard.
Yep. What I personally honestly recommend if you really want to learn speed kicks is start up Dark World and then get yourself through the second red coin and save a state as you're long jumping to start your triple jump up like to wall kick up to the elevator, like the very first rotating elevator. Save a state during that long jump, and it's like a second before a speed kick, and you just practice a speed kick there. Like you're able to reload the state and just practice 60 speed kicks a minute if you want to. I mean, technically any part of the game would be appropriate for that, but in that section, you already have a camera to the side of Mario that makes it a little bit easier to depth percept where he's going to land on the ground and how you'll have to manipulate his speed afterward. And if you want to make that particular speed kick useful, you actually have to learn how to properly manage your speed during a speed kick. Because in rare instances like that one, you actually want to cut your speed to a fraction so that you're able to get less height on your triple jump and thus be able to make the wall kick later. This run is super close. Like they're a door opening animation apart.
Yeah,
We keep getting sidetracked talking about tech, but
yeah, during that explanation, Punkay actually bonked on the wall trying to jump into Hazy Maze Cave. Just gave up the just by like hitting the wall, just half the.
Yep, indeed. And for anyone who's a little less familiar with the speedrun tactics of Mario 64, Hazy Maze Cave, basically the way it works is you're able to jump over those walls and do these triple box jumps and stuff like that, basically because the level has no ceilings. So you can just jump over the walls like puncayshun just did and kind of miss that star, unfortunately. And you can also do the same for what's called the Christmas Miracle Star, where you go and get the Metalhead Mario Shuriken Move star just by jumping from a really, really big height over the lack of ceiling and hopping over onto that switch. So you're going to be seeing that real shortly from Dwhatever as he goes in here. We're getting a demonstration. He's going to kick over to the left, do a triple jump. At the very peak of his jump, he's going to wall kick, and that's going to allow him to hit the switch in the water. It used to be back in the day, people didn't know whether hitting what caused you to hit that switch. Sometimes you miss it, sometimes you didn't. Turns out it had to do with the height of your jump when you got that speed kick, or no, speed kick, the wall kick. And so you're able to jump over that wall and land on the switch and get it. It was called Christmas Miracle because we didn't know what it did. Now we do. But of course, yeah, that's the main story of Hazy Maze Cave is the lack of ceiling. And if you didn't know what else has a ceiling or has no ceiling, it is the savings you can get playing Golf Clash just by earning Onyx points and getting free subscriptions. no limit, no ceiling. So definitely check that out. Go to onyx.tv/speedrun.
That is
Just
true.
only
I'm
really
very
high
close to
walls.
my 3rd subscription from Onyx, so everybody go check it out. Easy way to
Amazing.
get free emotes, help support the channel.
A lot of Greg's love coming out from here, and looks like UK gang out in force.
Is this a British meme? I'm too American to understand.
Well, Greg's is like it's kind of a meme food place. I'm trying to think of an equivalent in the US, but it's like everything's kind of regional, so it's hard. I mean, I guess.
So
I mean, I'm
yes,
aware of like
it's
the
a
Tim
British joke
Hortons
that you don't
phenomenon.
understand.
Is it like Tim Hortons kind of, or no?
But it's not really, because Tim Hortons is like considered, because we give a little more like love to fast food than the rest of the civilized world does. So we don't really like, we don't kind of like
D whatever pulling out pause bumper strats here on Lakitu Bounds. Okay, so this is really something that deserves to be explained. This pole
Wait,
right
do
here.
whatever, taking a burn on the pole.
No! No!
Oh my god! And this race just got blown into the
Blown out of the water.
Punkay
wide open.
pulling far ahead. Wow.
That's awful. That's really bad for Dwhatever. So
And
like,
it's so late in Lakitu Bounds too. That's a like oh, and then
Elodie
failing the
slide.
second attempt there.
Gosh, everything's falling apart for D.
All that happened there, for some bizarre reason, it's programmed in this game that Mario can't jump within 4 frames after initiating a slide. You have to wait that 4-frame window. And so D whatever probably just hit A after only 3 frames and then wasn't able to realize that he hit it too early and then hit A again before it was too late.
yeah, that's missing a Lakitu bounce is something you don't really expect from Dwhatever.
I think he just rattled from that flame shoot because I've never really seen someone die from the flame shooter.
I haven't either. Something happened and he fell off the pole. I didn't see what happened, but yeah, then trying to jump back up, wasn't paying attention to flames that were spinning around.
Okay, Punkay pulling out left side tricky triangles. Yeah, the flames are way off, so it's not really a problem for Dwhatever this time. And he does have Cruiser Crossing in his hands now, but at significant cost. A full tricky triangles behind.
Indeed.
About
to quote,
25 to 30 seconds or so.
To quote Twitch's own DJ Wheat circa 2011, but at what cost? Again, a reference for about 4 people in chat. Dwhatever going to be going here for these tricky triangles on the left side.
And we got Punkay pulling out, swinging in the breeze, using the underside strat rather than the top side strat.
Yeah, in a race this close, no need to go for the top side strat. Extremely risky. Doesn't even really save much time. And
Yeah, it really just allows you to get a slightly better ending, and slightly being the very
Punkay
operative word.
Yeah, and you
rolling
have to
away
execute that.
his lead, going for
Oh,
Toad.
Dwhatever failing the wall kick starting. He was gonna do the top side strat.
He was doing the top side strat.
And things falling apart for Dwhatever. Unfortunately, commentator trying to meme that the 1 second that Punkay loses doing Toad first is gonna matter, but it's really gonna come down to TTC. And
Dwhatever not able to get the top side strat this time either.
Falling apart for Dwhatever. Hopefully he can do that. This I would say this is probably one of the hardest backups in the game, if not the
Now
hardest.
we can already see though Punkay having some issues with TTC 100, getting zapped by an amp about midway up there. In addition to just having trouble getting on top of that platform in the first place.
Yeah,
Why is
definitely
doing
not
Toad
over.
first bad? It has to do with like anytime you're in the main area of Tippy, the clock of TTC is moving, and you want the clock to be stopped when you first enter, because once you grab a star, the clock is optimally in a position for you to go in fast time. You have to wait like 2 to 3 seconds for stopped time. So since you're already moving from Rainbow Ride, you want the stopped time so that you can save that like 2 to 3 seconds after another star later on. It might sound a bit ethereal, but like it does ultimately save time.
Wait,
And
does
They-
Toad
they-
first give you moving time?
You what?
say what? Sorry.
Does Toad first give you moving time when you enter, if you enter the clock immediately?
You have to wait for stop time. That's
Oh,
where
I
you
thought
lose
I
the
had to-
second. You have to
okay.
like wait for the clock to move up to the Where
Oh,
Yeah,
so
I think
thought it had
I
to do with
think
long jump.
I think it is technically possible for you to like hit Toad and then hit stopped time and actually save time with Toad early route.
Ooh, do whatever
But-
missing a coin.
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't
oh,
think
it
about-
fell out
oh, no.
right whenever he got there. Wow.
That is so rough. And it looks like, yep, Dwhatever going to be picking up the star and puncayshun picking up another. And these players do have unsynced star orders, which means we're not going to know. We're not going to know just what Punkay's lead is quite yet, but that RNG there did not help Dwhatever. And things kind of
Oh,
falling
and having a
apart
ton
here.
of trouble with the ending. Just gonna go with the backflip now. See, the backflip ending to this is something that I use because it just you can't mess it up. When someone like Dwhatever is resorting to something like that, you can tell how done he is. Like he's just sick of all of these little things that are just falling apart in Tippy.
Yeah,
I feel like that's really what's going to define this set is whether he's going to be able to recover from how this race is going and how Tippy went in this race. We're either going to see Dwhatever just melt down in Rainbow Ride next race, or we're going to see him absolutely shine. There's no in between, I don't feel like.
I'd just like to correct one of our mods in the chat. Just Fetus just said that the comms are live. I'd like to correct them and say that the commentary was actually recorded yesterday. I just don't want any disinformation going down in the chat.
Oh, yeah, no, the comms aren't live because I'm dead.
Yes, that is any evidence and proof that anyone.
Yeah. Electric, unfortunately,
not.
unfortunately, caught a virus because he didn't have NordVPN.
Yeah.
Yep.
The online stalkers got to him. No longer with us. Thankfully, we have him for this last grand finals race.
Yeah, I mean, see, whenever the grand finals race started yesterday, I knew that the virus was there, but I figured, hey, I'll have one last hurrah with some good commentator buddies and some nice racing action before I die.
Oh,
So,
man.
what better way to go
Last
out?
Star.
Punkay, final star, Dwhatever, 2 more. I wonder if Dwhatever might just pull out moving reds just because.
I wouldn't. Well, I would be surprised if only. I don't know. I guess Dwhatever probably has to think he's behind here. He definitely doesn't have Punkay's stream open. He doesn't have the GSA, obviously, because there is no GSA stream. But well, I mean, there is a GSA stream right now. There wasn't one.
This is a pre-recorded race. It's not live.
Yeah.
Can't
So
look.
basically, so like, I doubt Dwhatever's gonna go for moving reds. Maybe if he knows he's behind, he probably knows he's behind, but he's not sure. But yeah, it looks like he's gonna be going for that reds, and he still has to get that Todd star. But of course, the Todd star a little bit shorter than other stars. Okay.
No moving reds here. Honestly, a good decision with how close he still is to Punkay. Like, it's...
Yeah, if Punkay takes a death here in Dark World, it could just be even again and come down to Bowser. So Punkay really needs to just finish this out and finish it up. And here comes the movement
and you
back
can
to
see
negative.
how, yeah, just using standing left side. That okay?
Oh,
Is he gonna be doing? Nope. He's trying it again, but
Misses again.
it takes a significant fall there. That's at least 10 seconds there. I think closer to 15.
I would not be surprised. Well, Punkay also doesn't have access to for all he knows.
Wait!
Whatever's ahead of him right now, because
Okay.
Punkay doesn't have access to D-Stream either. So it looks like he's probably just going to go for standing left side. If he
Yeah,
knew, I would
he's gonna
expect to see him
continue.
go
And
long.
he's
Oh
still-
my gosh!
Oh my god! Whoa! Whoa!
He's alive,
Oh, barely, but
barely, and
This
they're
is so
basically
close!
neck and neck.
Oh goodness.
okay.
If D goes for moving right and he makes it, I think it's going to be neck and neck.
It's certainly gonna be close.
It'll be
It is
close.
within 1 throw for sure right now.
Oh yeah, already. I feel like it already is. They're like 7 seconds apart right now. If that.
Okay, Punkay moving on in.
Oh,
He's
it's
still
4.
trying the left side. He's not messing with wood blocks today. And he standing left side does
he's
work
got
this
it.
time.
And
Dwhatever
Dwhatever
having a
also
little bit
did
of
it.
trouble with his own left side, but does get it much faster than Punkay's first attempts.
For sure. And oh my goodness, this is
We're
like
going to be
neck
moving
and
right on
neck.
into the Bowser fight. This is it. 3 spins on a Hori Pad Mini 64. Let's see
We
who
are-
ends up coming out the victor. Only a
We're
few
one
frames-
Bowser throw away. If
Yeah, this is
Dwhatever gets a perfect Bowser fight and Punkay misses 1 throw, Dwhatever's gonna take it.
Punkay doing a 3 spin for his first throw. Dwhatever looked like a 2 spin on his first throw.
Okay, that's 2.
Okay. Okay, Dwhatever, tiny bit off, but not too bad.
And there it is.
Is that it for Punkay?
Perfect throw.
Looks like Punkay's got it.
That's gonna be it for Punkay.
Perfect
Wow.
location. Perfect positioning, rather.
And Dwhatever getting a perfect throw, leaving Punkay no room whatsoever.
Wow, what an insane ending.
Wow.
I can't believe both these players got 48s with that. Like, these are the only
4
players who get
seconds
48s with
apart.
those mistakes.
Yeah, Punkay lost like at least 30 to 45 seconds in bids. Was still able to pull out a 48.
Like, see, if you go back to the VOD of whenever we like started calming this race yesterday, I talked about how like Punkay had been, you know, kind of experienced like a few 49s. He wasn't really as able to get these 48s as consistently. Getting a 48 with this run like just blows all of that out of the water. I obviously had no clue what I was talking about. This is still peak form puncayshun, and we're going to be moving on into another game of this. But like Dwhatever has to be feeling the pressure at this point, because ultimately the only big thing that Dwhatever lacks compared to puncayshun is that sheer consistency. Punkay can guarantee you a 48. Punkay is the type of person that with a gun to his head could get a 48. Like, if you asked him to, he would just do it. Dwhatever, even though he's capable of such amazing times, it's not exactly reliable. Think back to the season 2 finals. We had 47:34 and then a 49-minute time forcing a game 3, followed by, of course, the 47:31. So ultimately, it's going to be, I feel like, really determined by whether Dwhatever's next 2 runs are both extremely solid, or if he does have that tiny bit of inconsistency within those.
Yeah, and basically that inconsistency is what did him in Rainbow Ride. Missing Lakitu bounce, dying on one of them, and then dying again later on. So if he can clean that up, that was the biggest time loss as well. He would have gotten a 47 easily without that. So if he can just clean that up and have the exact same run that he had previously, then he could definitely take this. On the other hand, puncayshun, you could say the same thing about his bits. Like he would have had like almost a 47, a very low 48, at least, if he had gotten a good ending. If he had just
I will say, like, on that same topic, there is absolutely no way Punkay is going for standing left again in this game too. Either he's just gonna go all in on like moving right side, or just some other like more practice strat, or he's just gonna do wood blocks. I really don't see him messing with standing left again after that.
I don't know, because if he practice standing left, he'll do standing left. But I feel like moving left is probably his muscle memory strat.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I feel like we'll probably see him moving left, but we also have a fair chance of just seeing him do the wood block strat. That does lose a few seconds, but is very consistent for a player like him.
Yeah, I don't see Punkay doing the wood block strat unless he does something like he just did. But even after missing it twice, he still did the standing left side, so he'll probably go for it next race. If not, then definitely moving left. I don't see him doing wood blocks though, going all the way down.
I mean, I just have to say, like, obviously Punkay has been running the game in recent weeks, but for someone who hasn't been grinding for a new 70-star PB to be putting forth such a performance right now, this is just really, really impressive. I feel like there are a lot of people out there who feel like, and have plenty of justifiable reasons for this idea, that Dwhatever is the most optimized 70-star player. I mean, with how much work he has put into all of his strats on every star, I feel like you can make a very convincing argument that he is currently the most optimized 70 player. But races like that ultimately make me feel like you also have a very justifiable argument for saying Punkay is the best. Because even when he's not in his objectively peak form, he's still able to perform like that. That's just insane.
I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate here, and like I would presume, I doubt we're gonna get interviews after this race, obviously, because these runners played yesterday. But I would presume, I would imagine that both runners would probably say that like a high 48 for both of them is not like, I'm not saying this because a 48 with that, like what just happened, that is pretty mind blowing to me. But I think that both runners would be pretty annoyed at having gotten a high 48. Just because they are of the caliber that they are. These are the only 2 people to get 47s in in GSA races, and Dwhatever is like so accustomed to hitting low 48s, and for him not to pull one out here in this race, I think that I don't know. I just feel like obviously puncayshun, the ability to get a 48 shows just how unbelievably legendarily historically good he is, especially being so far off practice. And to be perfectly honest, I'm just it's unfortunate to see what happened to Dwhatever and Tippy happen, because it seems like D from the face cam seems pretty down on himself. Definitely not the Tippy he was expecting, and hopefully for him, we're gonna see that that exciting game 2, that consistent gameplay, and maybe see a game 3. Who knows? But
yeah, I mean, that's what Dwhatever's going to be fighting for here, and Punkay has got a run for his money if he wants to save an hour of running Mario yesterday.
Just a heads up, this entire race was completed yesterday.
So as far as the runner's perspective, the only real difference to them was that they weren't able to see the restreams of the other runners. Like they still conducted the best of 3 set as if everything was being streamed live normally. Did Dwhatever just set his cam for Island Hop?
It looked like he did.
Probably
either he miscammed there and just adjusted for it, or he set.
What?
The bomb blowing up for D? Oh man.
Unfortunately, backflip is not going to save that time back. It looks like Dwhatever losing a bit, and not even getting the big bomb. So looks like he's going to be losing about 10 to 11 seconds there.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate when you don't get the bomb clip there. It kind of hurts your confidence because it's the first trick of the game. It's a little tricky, but not tricky enough to miss at this caliber. So I don't know. Hopefully he can stay in there. Maybe Punkay misses something in Womp's Fortress. Should be about the same time loss, and he can catch right back up.
Oh, definitely. Especially like missing a cycle on 100 coin, or I mean, there has been a race, I believe even this season, where Punkay fell off the course at the very end of 100 coin and lost easily a minute.
12-8 for Punkay. Dwhatever can save a little bit of time here.
12-7, a tenth of a second. Dwhatever just
God.
won the race. He's not losing after that.
He absolutely slashes puncayshun's lead into like
He just
9400.
slashed puncayshun's tires like a jilted lover.
Indeed. Don't get your virtual tires slashed. Go to nordvpn.org/speedrun to mask your IP.
Did you say tilted
It's funny
lover?
that you say that, because I personally use NordVPN to change my location to Canada so that I can buy new tires on the cheap. What? You didn't know that Canada had a cheaper tire industry than most of America? Huh. Well, today you learn.
Yeah, it only cost me like $1,200 a year to replace them. So looks like a clean sock folder setup coming up from Punkay, and let's see if it's nice and clean from Dwhatever. I'd like to see him go for some brave stuff here. Obviously, we're going to see Pro Cycle.
I feel somewhat guilty for like popularizing calling that sock folder setup, because if you want to get all actually about it, the sock folder setup is a little bit longer than that. The original setup that sock folder came up with involved like another ledge grab even further back, although that setup was 100% consistent. If you did it his way, you would never ever fail. Whereas the way that you commonly see runners do it, like Dwhatever's like full setup like this, you do introduce a little bit of inconsistency depending on where exactly you ledge grab, but ultimately the speed increase is much, much well worth it.
Ooh, puncayshun going for intermediate cycle here. Again, Dwhatever can save a little bit of time, and I would be surprised to see him miss Pro Cycle.
I feel like Punkay's play here is just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and he's relying on Dwhatever's mentality to be in shambles for the rest of this race.
Yeah, and bear in mind where Dwhatever is, so it's right now the time is like 12:30 a.m. in Germany at the time of this particular race, and so Dwhatever probably not in such a great situation. Had that
the Piranha Plant just robbing Dwhatever of time. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
There are things like Wet Dry World 100 that you can point at and say, oh, that's a very obvious source of RNG. There are also things that rarely fail like that. Another key example is like the Goombas in Dark World and Fire Sea. They can just get in your way if they want to. If they happen to spawn in just the wrong spot, they'll be right where you need to be, and you're not in a state where you can cause damage to them. So they just bonk you. You probably just lost the cycle. Congrats. And it just, those little things are ultimately what really can cause this game to get super infuriating sometimes.
Yeah, and speaking of little things, Dwhatever jumping over that final coin in 100 coin, just like the first race.
Yeah, shaking, SMHing a little bit right there, as you can see. Also, Dwhatever does notice an effect that Facecam has on his play when he's streaming regular runs. Maybe that has something to do with it as well. But as it stands, mentality-wise, RNG-wise, and just situation-wise, nothing really going D's way. I think he's honestly just on his phone trying to like get his mind off the frustration that he's feeling, because Puncayshun is kind of running away with this race right now here in the second set.
Yeah,
Now,
Puncayshun definitely
Shan-
on the run.
Shan, I gotta ask, what do you think D's doing on his phone? Because I feel like he might be playing a little bit of Golf Clash to kind of calm his nerves a little bit.
I think he's just checking his Onyx every now and then, checking to see if his free sub came in. But yeah, playing a little Golf Clash, making sure he's making up those points. And maybe seeing about his security solutions, right? Making sure that once his first month is up, that his bank account is stocked up with that dirt cheap amount that he has to auto transfer to NordVPN for the next 3 years. So yeah, for sure.
All right, Punkay heading on up to the top of the fortress now. Let's see if Dwhatever ends up trying to pull out the double jump strat up here.
I really hope we see it.
Oh, no second kick there. Oh well. Still a really nice double jump.
I think the problem for D is he may feel like he might need these really advanced strats to get back in the lead, but he's also dealing with a bit of a mentality lull. A bit is a bit of an understatement. Puncayshun having some castle movement trouble here. But,
that painting is just the worst shape.
Yeah, that painting just big enough to let Mario in. Very easy.
And no more.
no bigger. Just enough.
I feel like the biggest problem is
double
like
12,
the fact that it has that archway at the top. Like, night. Decent time from Punkay. Let's see, Dwhatever going to be getting a 12.6, saving 0.2 seconds this time instead of 0.1.
Absolutely smashing Punkay's lead into about 92 hundredths this time.
All right, now some wing cap action. Dwhatever claims that his flying isn't that great, but I personally just have to disagree.
Okay, taking a slow arc.
Yeah, just like going straight up there.
Well, once again,
Dwhatever here. Yeah, see, the big problem I feel like is those 3 and 4 coins. The 1 and 2 coins are hard just because you have so much speed that Mario is hard to control down there. But getting 3 and 4 optimally, I feel like, is even harder because you want to grab them with the edge of Mario's hitbox.
Yeah.
The further up you go, the more speed you lose inherently. So the lower you can grab them, the better.
Yeah, they're definitely going to basically set the tone for how much speed you'll have for the rest of them.
I just want to point out how unbelievably good Dwhatever's flying there was. He is running against one of the 2 strongest wing cap players in the game, in my opinion, and he really needed to pull that out. I'm not even saying that ironically. Like, that's the kind of thing that is going to get Dwhatever back in this match. Dwhatever is obviously better at wing cap than 99.99% of players, but when he's playing against that top 0.001%, he's really got to whip it out, and he definitely did for the wing cap.
Now we're seeing some Dark World action. Looks like Dwhatever just gunning for shit. Nope, he's going to be doing underside elevator movement. Okay, I meant to say Shig, but I ultimately, because of my misspeak, I spoke accurately. It looks like, okay, he's just going to be going down to a Shig yet again, just like that first race. No big deal, though. He's matching Punkay's cycle here still.
Yeah, just gets a little firsty there. Probably wants to try and get firsties here.
Yeah, definitely can save some time here at the
There we go. Yeah, he's got a much better ending than last time. He can certainly be proud of that.
A beautiful ending from Dwhatever. No dance.
Double A presses on a 0.03 second timing.
No dance for D.
Unfortunate.
Game's
Also,
rigged.
if you
Punkay
kind of
getting
want to
better
like
RNG.
to give all of our viewers a perspective of how optimized this game is, it's known how exactly you should throw Bowser at a bomb. If you just spin really, really fast and just throw him after 2 spins, you're doing pretty good, but ultimately he'll get a lot more height off the bomb that will lose you time. To do Bowser throws optimally, at least like in Dark World, you want to throw him in such a way that he bounces once and then hits the bomb on his second bounce. And if you do that, then he'll have a much lower arc coming off of the bomb, and thus it'll save you time in the long run. You can only really lose up to like I think 2 or 3 seconds if you have like a really bad arc from throwing him really fast, but it's time save, of course.
Any time save is time save.
Speaking of arcs, don't let internet hackers get an angle on you by getting your IP address. Mask your IP with NordVPN.
Wait a minute, what's this in the chat? Serotonin receptor coming in with the gloves, trying his best to spread all the love.
Going into Cool Mountain now.
See, Shan, you keep saying, oh, that's a joke that only 2 people will understand. That was a joke that only 1 person will probably understand.
Probably.
For those that don't know, 5-HT2A is a serotonin receptor. And that username on Twitch goes in a lot of speedrunning channels and talks about gloves a lot. Punkay almost dying! Okay. I gotta say, since he almost died to that, wow. That's a way to take a lead, okay.
And that was it. That's all Dwhatever needed. He is back in the lead by about 2 seconds. And I mean, playing consistently is the name of the game, it seems like.
And I've just gotta say, while like they're dealing with the slide stuff, the way that Punkay bonked there, I feel like I'm the only person that bonks that way reliably. I've seen Punkay like that type of bonk happen like 3 times in races, and twice it's resulted in a death. This is the only time it hasn't.
You mean off the initial wall kick?
Yeah. So like when you do the backflip wall. Wait, no. Not an invisible, like you bonk against the corner but get pushed back in such a way that like you end up falling off the course. For some reason, I feel like I do that way more reliably than anyone else. Like I've died that way like at least 20 times in runs.
You know what it is.
Dwhatever did miss a coin here going into the mountain, so he does not want to miss another coin here. Looks like he is okay.
Yeah, so he'll have exactly 100 rather than 101.
Yeah, it's still fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Punkay needs to grab a backup. Wait, he only has 97.
Yeah, Punkay in fact did miss 2 coins, and thus is going to have to go get a backup coin.
I don't think he realized it.
Yeah, but that was a really nice backup if he didn't realize that initially. Yeah, same dis, Volador. Every time I bonk in that corner, I die as well. I feel like maybe my camera is just bad, or like the way I'm moving the stick after the wall kick is just bad, but like that's just the type of stuff this game will do to you.
Yeah, so how you die off of that bonk is if you keep holding forward, Mario will actually move further than if you just let the stick go.
See, so if you let the stick go and it's
stick, then he somehow just loses a little bit of speed, doesn't go as far.
See, I've never died to a bonk because the moment I bonk, I pause and reset. And
valid
beat in 6 years. So let's go over here to Big Boo's haunt. Shall we do whatever? Looks like he agrees. So we're gonna be going over into the backyard.
Yep, a nice little yard here.
A nice little yard.
Yeah, obviously Peach needs to call the exterminator, which is Mario, thankfully. In addition to being a plumber, and is able to eradicate not just bugs, but also ghosts and Goombas and Bowsers.
Why would you call an exterminator for a ghost, though? Obviously, you call a medium. Haven't you ever watched reality television?
Have you ever seen Ghostbusters?
Have you ever seen The Conjuring? Or Insidious? Hello? She came down in a bubble, Doug!
That's who you call.
Are you gonna tell me I'm wrong?
And just gonna check off on my GSA commentator bingo. Electric quotes. She came down on a bubble dog twice. Same rate.
I have to. like for context on that, my girlfriend has been quoting that fucking that TikTok endlessly.
Oh
Like
my
I just
goodness.
it's stuck in my
And-
head at this point.
Well, I mean, listen, it happens. So it's just gonna we're just gonna head back here into a Big Boo's haunt and pick up these mystery bookcases once again. And a few D colons coming out for I can only presume for D whatever, who is
Yeah, I mean
certainly
he
playing
obviously
extremely
lost
well.
like a frame or two.
Yeah, and absolutely nothing else happened in those 30 seconds. And Puncayshun going to be finishing up as well. And looks like Mario going to be getting out of this courtyard. It does not, unfortunately, of course, after having entered the castle, a global pandemic hit. And so the only outside time that Mario can get is up in the cloud stage sun and here in the courtyard. So just doing his daily allowed walk outside in the courtyard. And then taking his rabbit for a run, getting a star for the efforts.
And so now we're going to be seeing Pillarless yet again. Punkate was able to take a lead through the mid game with his plus attempts here. We'll see if Dwhatever is able to change history on this one.
Yeah, D having a much bigger lead, so even if he does miss one, probably still maintain it, but definitely just wants to maintain consistency, which he's doing with Tama Plus again. The D Whatever just has the
Bam,
most
easy.
beautiful pillarlesses you'll ever see. For anyone who's like not aware of how that trick works, like it's actually insanity, and for him to pull it off that.
And yep, Puncayshun going for regular plus. Interesting.
And he doesn't get
Punkate
the
missing the
double-
glitchy double jump though.
It's
I
really
I feel like in a comm like last week or something, I talked about like used to that was a decently common failure in plus, but I haven't really been seeing that as recently. That all that is as you approach the apex of that slope, you want to hit A really fast twice in succession so that you're able to get a double jump. Since your first jump, Mario almost immediately hits the ground again. And so there, Punkay was able to get that glitchy double jump, but before that, just not
Yeah.
quite.
Looked like he just hit A a little too soon, and if you
I'm
do that,
interested to see
you're
if he
not
goes for
expected.
Tama again for secrets, because he did Tama for secrets last run. It's like he does one regular, one Tama.
Yeah, it probably just depends on how he feels. Punkay is definitely the one who will change up his strats depending on how he feels today. Okay, so
And
is done with plus, assuming this secret collecting it.
Yeah, luckily, we don't see too many errors on pyramid secrets. Missing like the first secret is just so devastating, or really any in that first sequence of 3.
Yeah, jumping back up to those little platforms. No joke. Sometimes you just have to go all the way back around.
and D Whatever going to be picking up the shining atop the pyramid star. And of course, it's not really atop the pyramid. It's actually in a nook in the upper middle section of the pyramid. And unfortunately, false advertising, not against the Mushroom Kingdom TOS, so nothing we can do about it. We have spoken to our lawyers.
Yeah, I wonder how many poor children played this game like in their formative years and thought that the word atop meant inside of a small nook in the middle of the thing. Like that's just
I think it stunted my personal intellectual development for multiple months, and I was not able to. I unfortunately was not able to spell the word flagellating at 6.
yeah, and I mean I still can't read.
Puncayshun going to be going back here into shifting Sandland. No, he's not. He's
Wait, you
Commentator
guys
also apparently has stunted mathematic development.
went to school.
I mean I'm not sure. I like I said I can't read, so I don't know what building I was entering, but maybe.
Remember, kids, if you stay in school, you'll actually get paid for commentary. And commentators
and I
spending
did not
the past
go to,
20 minutes
and I did not
demonstrating
go to
what we're
school,
not.
so there you go.
Long jump boost coming out from D Whatever.
Yeah, just opted for consistency here. I mean, for top runners, long jump boost is just completely free. I've said it like in other races. The big reason you see that strat so much is it only relies on stick positions and not as much stick movement. Strats like Pro Boost rely on your ability to smoothly move the stick between up and upright and then to the straight right notch. during certain sequences of Mario boosting up the lava waterfall. But that long jump boost, you just snap to specific positions when Mario's around a certain spot, and it always works.
And puncayshun goes here into the volcano and is doing the long jump boost as well, which is considered a free trick. I beg to differ, but you know, I'm just saying, even if I'm the only person in the world for whom long jump isn't free, that means it's not free.
Okay, I have someone in chat complimenting me for the fact that I know about smooth stick movement, and I thank you for that. I mean, I hope that I would know about smooth stick movement since I've practiced a lot with the stick, and I also lubricate my stick regularly so it doesn't feel dry and like rough whenever I'm trying to use it for effective movement.
That silica gel does wonders.
Yep, silicone grease is the premium
Yeah,
lubricant.
silicone grease.
Works on machines, it works on sticks.
And
for those getting into the game, you want to be a little bit...
There.
Okay, I'm just going to let that point slide away because it was completely meaningless. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But no, I don't have any other jokes to make. I'm just here watching some Super Mario 64, watching some long jumps, some backflips, some lava booty burns, and I'm just having a good time.
We're watching Dwhatever take a pretty commanding lead, leaving the basement, heading on into DDD.
Dwhatever having a full star lead at this point.
Yeah, looks like Dwhatever solidly in the driver's seat, but remember, his problem stars were in the late stages.
All right, now wait a minute. I believe that we actually have an incoming transmission, so let me go ahead and switch over to that real quick.
Incoming transmission.
Hello, my name is Marcus Peterson, and I've spent the last 17 years of my life following the movements of an elusive creature known simply as the Mario. Although numerous other British presenters have presented information about Mario beforehand, I sought to seek this creature for myself, and for the first time today, I would like to show you some footage of this illustrious creature. Because you see, the Mario is not your traditional, agile, mobile, seafaring animal. On first glance, he looks incredibly inadept to actually moving through any sort of body of liquid or air or anything, really. And yet somehow the doughy gloved hands manage to actually move a ton of water behind him. And he's able to take down pretty premium apex predators. And so here I would like to show you my crowning achievement of the footage that I've taken. The submarine takedown. You see, Mario's biggest natural predator is a large vessel of metal, whether it's just a diametric opposition to the inorganic, or if it's simply a hatred for turtles. We may never know. But for some reason, the Mario has chosen this predator as its apex predator, the crown jewel of the food chain. And here we see Dwhatever with premium control of, but a slight deviance from standard behavior. The submarine moving a little bit to the left imperceptibly, but yet the kill still easy to make.
Apex predator signals weakness to the sharks in the water. They can smell the blood, and he has to get out of DDD as soon as humanly possible.
And now we see Mario with a more traditional, playful predator, the manta ray. The manta ray doesn't want to cause problems, it just does because it hates you. Yes, I'm talking directly to you, the viewer. I hate you too, because you didn't support me before I finally found evidence of the Mario. You always called me crazy, that a creature like this could never exist. But look, it's on your screen right now.
Bear in mind, Marcus Peterson does not reflect the views of the GSA or any of its commentators.
Okay, sorry, what was that? I just blacked out for a couple minutes. We're in Fire Sea, though. I mean, we're chugging along. Let's go.
And just a disclaimer, that was the only statement was the only pre-recorded part of this entire commentary. The rest is indeed live. And it looks like Punkay going to be headed back into DDD to pick up the...
Well, and interestingly enough, we actually see Dwhatever going back for that double wall kick strat. It looks like still very comfortable pace for lava boost here. Dwhatever's gotten some of the deepest lava boost I feel like I've ever seen in this game. Like that should not be possible for you to land that deep onto the platform. The
Yeah.
further Mario's shadow gets before he lands on the platform, the better that lava boost was.
Indeed, that lava boost is so deep. I'm not sure if it's a Kantian or if it was engaging in some form of Cartesian reasoning.
See, rather than Cartesian space, I feel like we're dealing with non-Euclidean spaces in these particular instances.
Immediately jumping from philosophy over to math seamlessly. Those are the segues you can expect at the GSA.
And speaking
Also
of jumping
smart.
between things seamlessly, I mean, we've known Shantastic to often jump to NordVPN promos seamlessly, and this is no different. Go subscribe to NordVPN, please. That's it. That's the promo.
Please.
Pretty please. I'd appreciate it. We haven't had lights in so long. Father hasn't been able to provide the firewood.
Please, sir.
It's so cold.
Can I have some Nord?
It's so cold. Friendly reminder that Charlie's grandpa and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory could have actually brought them out of poverty numerous times, but just chose not to until his kid got a golden ticket. You're welcome. Just Fetus is exactly right. Mark's just like, I'm done.
Markinator probably eating a sandwich at this current moment. And seems like we are headed here into Wet Dry World. Another
All
water
right.
stage.
And so some live play-by-play coverage of one of the most interesting stars in the game, I feel like. I don't feel like there's a ton like Wet Dry World 170. It's a long-form movement star akin to like Womp's Fortress 100 or TTC 100, but it doesn't feel as arduous. But ultimately, I feel like it's harder to optimize because you lose time in such small increments throughout.
Yes, indeed. And Punky, it looks like he turned that key in the right direction. And
A fun fact, in the beta of this game, there's actually supposed to be a key located inside of one of the big boos in BBH.
interesting. That would have been pretty cool.
Right?
In the
okay,
hypothetical world we're living in.
I know this is very, like, irreligious to say around these parts, but Super Mario 64 DS did one thing right. And that one thing is the addition of that Luigi painting, because that level was pretty cool. That's the only thing it did right, though, okay? Don't kick me out of the booth for saying it did something right.
Listen,
That's the
I
only
like the prequels, so I don't judge. So we're going to be going here into, looks like Dwhatever picking up this 100 coin star. And Puncayshun just starting out his 100.
Oh, wait. I see you're a man of culture as well. Although it's important to note that the ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
I sped.
No! No! Stop it! Bad Shan! Bad Shan!
Real close now, Orky Day.
How do you ban someone else from Discord? Wait, this isn't Google.
You brought up Jar Jar Binks, and I'm just going to say that the responsibility for this situation lies entirely with yourself.
Let's see where these are going.
Bro, that smells stinkerwith. All right, and Punky, speaking of things that smell stinkerwith, this lead is really expanding for Dwhatever. Punky not really making any mistakes, just Dwhatever is just playing really smooth movement.
Yeah, Dwhatever. Speaking of smooth movement, a nice triple jump with that awning wall kick going up for top of the town here. One thing that I feel like gets a little bit swept under the rug about top of the town is how that fast moving platform can mess you up.
I'm sorry. There's a game going on and like an actual grand finals, but all I can think of is Jar Jar Binks in the U.S. Senate trying to lobby for like a stimulus bill for Corona. Senators, fellow delegates, Mr. Petition for universal basic income.
See, I feel like anytime the Star Wars prequels get brought up, about half of my brain power is spent on continuously looping Anakin saying, I hate sand. It's coarse. It gets everywhere.
I hate shifting sandland.
Yeah, it's coarse and it gets everywhere with time loss.
Here.
Yep.
Here it's soft and sucks you in until you die.
The Tan McCann asking, wow, that was a terrible pronunciation of that name. I apologize. Asking why runners don't do the Penguin slide race instead of Wet Dry World 100.
Because it's slower.
Yes. So ultimately, if you tried to do either Wet Dry World Secrets on its own or do 100 coin with a different star, both of those options would be much slower than the potential time save, if you will, from doing the Penguin Race Star. And believe it or not, you can actually do Wet Dry World 100 faster than you can do Penguin Race with 100 coin. I mean, yeah, as BDF said, because it's slower, that's the only answer you deserve. We're done with in-depth explanations on GSA. It's just we're gonna give one-word responses whenever you ask about strats. Go ahead, try us. And speaking of trying things, both of these runners trying to do their best to ignore the fact that THI is objectively a bad platforming design stage.
Ooh, puncayshun picking up a bit of an issues there. Commentator not with the grammar, and apparently also needed to stay in school, but puncayshun cleaning up the star better than I cleaned up that sentence.
And Dwhatever about to be cleaning up the grass from piranha plants. But you gotta wonder, I mean, piranhas are plants. Don't they have as much of a right to be alive as the grass that they stand on?
Yes, but unfortunately the gardener went on strike when Bowser took over the castle and everything turned to anarchy, and now the gardener is just sitting around in his turtle shell challenging people to races. So someone has to do the dirty work.
Okay, now I have a couple of responses in chat. Strat advice, how do you go fast? Get good. Strat advice, how do I jump? Throw controller. Let's see, I'm waiting for a couple new ones. But meanwhile, Dwhatever not having to wait whatsoever to not punch Toad in the face and just wait to talk to him.
And yep, gonna be running here into Tall Mountain.
Does anyone else have cats in chat? I have a cat. Would you like me to bring him over here so he could meow into the mic?
Okay.
Strat advice, how do I fix my life? Don't.
Speed kicks and beautiful movement on the mushrooms.
Okay, let's see this maze movement here.
Gets the triple jump and
very nice.
Bingo, bango, bish, bash, bosh hits that little bit of dust on that final rollout, but everything else was squeaky Mr. Clean.
Oh, I see a few people in chat really want me to bring my cat on mic. Too bad. To be completely blunt with you, I'm not exactly sure where he is. He's somewhere in this house. I don't know. Dwhatever, not even attempting Breezeless a second time. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Dwhatever hasn't been doing Breezeless this whole time.
And Markedator so distraught at me debating chat and not showing them my cat that he just left. And I would, at this point, like to quote puncayshun about like a year and a half ago, somewhere around that timeline. Breezeless is free. That is a direct quote from puncayshun himself.
Puncay gonna be saving some time back.
All right, and Dwhatever having to go with 2 wall kicks there on the behind the waterfall star, but ultimately not losing significantly more time. That strap for that star is just so sketchy, it feels like. Nick Ando, watch a Final Fantasy speedrun.
And it looks like a log kick coming out from Dwhatever. And kabamity bam, and hits it. Gonna be picking up that top of the mountain star.
Yeah, that triple jump from that ledge grab is a little bit difficult. It's one of the very few instances where you have to move right in the direction you just ledge grabbed from. And when Mario gets up from a ledge grab, he does actually kind of advance a little bit into the ledge, but you have very little room to start running to actually start your movement there. And Dwhatever actually going for a slightly more optimal way of doing Blast of the Lonely Mushroom. Kind of taking this roundabout route.
And Puncay gonna be headed back in here. Still has a few more stars to go. Is going to be getting this blast to the Lonely Mushroom. Gonna be nice and clean. Oh, misses the star grab on the rollout, but gonna be easily picking that up. Unfortunately, you can't actually bonk against Grintilda because Mario is not a character. He's not a rare character. So Banjo, I don't think can smack into walls. If you roll into a wall, Banjo just kind of rolls up against the wall. So bonking doesn't really happen there. I guess you could do it in a dive bomb. So you could do a dive bomb on the Grintilda fight, but you wouldn't actually bonk. You would just kind of ram into
Monkey
her.
having some severe issues with TTM Reds. The maze there, you either perform it perfectly or you lose like 5+ seconds. There's no in between on that.
Yeah, Punkay having a few issues pressing A with game.
Dwhatever with a really nice dominant run at this point, advancing well into Snowman's Land before Punkay even touches the door. Like the upstairs has just been pretty much entirely Dwhatever's domain in this race, I feel like. And it looks like we're attempting to receive a message from Markinator from the future.
Yeah, it looks like we're being joined by about 3/10 of Markinator. And
it's a little bad, Markinator. I think I heard you
able to
ask,
piece that
is it
sentence
bad?
together.
But that's about all I could ask. That's about all I
Um,
could ascertain.
but Markinator truly showing the innator part of his name.
Okay, wait. Nick Ando just asked,
Skynet
anyone else think
capabilities.
Ocarina of Time is overrated? I think you being alive is overrated.
Okay, I would like to issue a public apology on behalf of commentators. We recognize that everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion about the Ocarina of Time.
See, okay, I'm okay with your apology since you said objectively wrong.
Be whatever.
Philusa saying that you were the first to hold this opinion. Would you like a free iPad?
Getting here into HMC. So if you have only watched 2 or 3 or 0 speedruns, you may be wondering, wait a second, Dwhatever was down here like 20 minutes ago. Why would you go all the way down to the basement, go to HMC, and then go all the way back up to Tippy Top? Why not just go to Tippy Top and do HMC early? Well, I'll tell you, sweet viewer, as it turns out, the MIPS star that spawns at 50 stars that you get for absolutely free, turns out saves 1 second over the alternate, which is typically THI or SL Reds. SL Reds is on paper the fastest. So it turns out that is actually faster, going all the way down to the basement after 50 stars to finish Hazy Maze Cave than doing the alternate star. So that is true. If you make any movement mistakes, it basically negates the time save. And if you miss MIPS, as puncayshun isn't going to do now, he does not. You will actually lose way more time than you possibly could have saved coming down here. So, but at the end of the day, MIPS is pretty free. So.
And I feel like one big reason that we've seen pretty much every major player adopt this route is beyond just that 1 second of time save. It's nice to be able to have a fairly consistent, easy stage like HMC right before Tippy. You're able to kind of recover your mentality a little bit and just kind of breathe a bit from the stages like. I mean, this is preceded by Snowman's Land and TTM, 2 very difficult stages, especially at this optimal level. So being able to delay HMC, even if you end up losing a little bit of time just from, I don't know, an error in castle movement or something, it's still a very good decision to do this route, mainly just for mentality things. Punkay getting a little bit of a grind on his way up to triple box jump.
And now we enter the Great Cavern, and we see, we're actually not seeing the monster. Quite a mistake from our cameraman.
That's all we see. Just a
Swimming
big old
beast in the cavern. Trust us, it's there. Unfortunately, our cameraman kind of dropped the ball there. And fake sync coming out.
And Nikando, despite saying that his feelings were irrevocably hurt and was never going to recover, seems to already have moved on to asking about Rayman Legends. So, you know what? I don't feel bad anymore. Not that I ever did, but
Is it fixed?
it was
got a
fixed
decent
until you
part of
said the
ya.
word fixed, unfortunately.
I have no idea what's going on.
It looks like Markinator is back with us.
Internet is just
And
dumb,
more than just
Markinator.
spirit. But I mean, you're back enough. You're definitely way better than me. So
Okay, good.
And a Christmas miracle coming out from puncayshun. Not quite a
Not
miracle.
coming out. I thought that switch was pressed too.
Just the Christmas stare at the wall for a little bit and perform a kick.
Okay, Punkay is sitting at
More like the
57
Christmas
stars, so
socks
Dwhatever
underneath
has
the
a
Christmas
much
tree.
more convincing lead going into this. And keeping in mind just how devastating his tippy was, and yet he was still able to finish within 4 seconds of Punkay. Punkay's... Oh, wait, what?
missing.
Dwhatever missing a cam there.
Missing
And
a
so not
cam.
able to actually get his jump at the right angle for that wall kick.
Yeah, it should actually lose him time, assuming that he gets like a 2 bounce time around. But yeah, definitely has one less backup if he does end up missing.
Yeah, it's nice that Red serves as such a good backup for missing Lakitu bounds.
Well, to be really precise and technical, he wouldn't have done that wall kick if he was going for red. He did lose the time he would have spent doing the proper wall kick. That would have gotten him a little closer to reds in the same amount of time.
Okay.
It's accurate. It's very true.
And
All
Dwhatever
right,
hit
D
the,
with that like pretty much instant pull grab there. He got burned last time, which interrupted me talking about this. Whenever you grab the very bottom of a pole, Mario's pole grab animation actually pushes him a little bit downward. And so grabbing the very bottom, he starts that animation and then actually falls below the pole grab range. And so you have to hit B again to get him to restart that animation. But if you do hit B twice, like within a certain very, very small window, as he's starting that like falling animation, you are able to grab a little bit higher on the pole to be able to do what Punkay just did just now, where
and as you
you're
said,
able
that
to
looks
actually
like
keep
Punkay
climbing up.
loaded up a new AVI, so might actually be able to catch up here. Picks up that cruiser crossing the rainbow.
Yeah, Punkay definitely needs this clean rainbow ride. Is really hoping Dwhatever makes some kind of mistake.
He's going for topside.
Let's see it.
Is the ending good?
Oh wow, what an ending! That double jump over that flame sphere is just such a power play. You can tell that Punkay fell for that power play because he just bonked for no good reason other than Dwhatever just being a god. Stop it. Get back in your cage. Let us forget.
Oh gosh.
no!
Also, apparently Jesus believes that Akinator is in the chat room. Mark, can I ask you 20 questions to determine if you can identify the character that I'm thinking of?
No.
Is your character red?
No.
Does your character wear clothes?
Sometimes.
Is your character currently performing very well at TTC 100?
Never.
Never? Oh, man. Okay, well, your character is definitely not Dwhatever.
No, it is not.
Character
My
about-
my character is Waluigi.
I should have guessed.
Wow.
And
He misses the coin.
What? This one spot just refuses to give him the good RNG.
And folks, remember,
Like-
Dwhatever. So this is the same thing that happened last race, and Dwhatever cannot see Punkay's race cam. So for all he knows, Punkay is actually ahead again. Oh, but wait, hold on. Why did Dwhatever go? But oh wait, of course he did because it was he has the extra. Never mind. Commentator struggling a little bit with mathematics, but it's okay because
I think that's just a common theme. I feel like in about 10 years, the FDA will start banning commentators for speedruns because it obviously causes brain damage based on the way that we're acting right now. Or at least me.
Dwhatever going to be starting his moving stars right here.
I feel like it'll be categorized as an occupational hazard, though, at the end of the day.
It probably would be. It's kind of like the seizure warning, but it's like brain damage warnings. That's gonna be for the future. SP64 commentating.
Jesus claiming that he's lost plenty of brain cells from this stream, and gotta say, as BDEF is mentioning just now, GSA is not responsible for losing any brain cells due to just watching the stream because commentators are also actively losing brain cells. We don't know what the root cause is, but Dwhatever having to get a hand as a quick backup there. At least he was able to land in that slot and not ultimately lose way more time having to go all the way back up the clock from the left side.
and commentator going to make a joke about something that happened in seconds ago. That worth it? Markinator, speaking in a super robotic, predictive voice about how brain cells are going to be lost. Markinator, more like caffeinator, right?
What?
So Puncayshun going to be headed here into the end of 200. And,
we should be given a mandatory health and safety risk assessment before watching this stream. Yeah, I agree. We should put like the weed health and safety warning on the very start of every GSA stream from now on. Steve, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, it's gonna be there's gotta be some kind of warning. I think we all agree. So you're getting your warning at the end of game 2 of 3 games, it looks like. So sorry for the late response. But that's what we got for.
Fake sync Pog, even in cages of their own. Each cage is different cages, but one cage was a different cage, and they caged it out. Kind of cagey. Dwhatever going in here for the last star of TTC.
You know, this whole situation reminds me of back when I was a boy. My dad was trying to teach me how to do trot lines, and I was really bad at it. I've never been good at like naturalistic stuff, but I still remember one of the things that he said to me was, I hope you never forget about how in the late 1990s, Mankind threw The Undertaker off of the top of Hell in a Cell to close out a match and ultimately break a commentator's table.
I don't even know how to follow that up. I'm sorry, I have to move my mic.
No, I think we're all just losing our minds based on this race. Seems to be pretty over. Let's see, Punkay 2 stars behind has already grabbed his Toad star, so they are longer stars.
And I made I Am Not a Cola very mad by not knowing how wrestling works. Wow.
Guys,
but anyway, hopefully
Dwhatever
Dwhatever knows how the end of this game works.
There's another 50 minutes of this left if Dwhatever doesn't choke here, so strap in, folks.
Yeah, you can tell this match is... This game 3 that might be upcoming is going to be real solid.
If you're over, insert relevant age and country here. Pour yourself a drink and enjoy, because you're in for a ride.
Yeah, once a runner gets behind and it kind of seems like the runner ahead is just going to close it out. Commentators tend just to kind of wander off, talk about whatever they want.
It's just hard to focus with everything going so fast. It just overloads my little squirrel brain. Oh, also, remember how I claimed
Dwhatever's on pace for a 47.
Wait, what? Oh,
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, Dwhatever's gonna get a 47 on this race. We're talking about brain damage. And
the straight up is a 47. This is a 47.42. This is an extremely solid time.
You know what? I'm so proud of us that one of us caught it. I trusted.
I'm proud of you, fantastic.
Please tell me that didn't.
Still, no, it's not gonna cost me. It's still possible. It's still possible.
Come on. Okay, that's it. That's still a 47.
47. That is the worst 47 Dwhatever's ever had. He should be ashamed of himself.
I mean, that's just... Punkay won that race, even though Dwhatever is about to literally win this race. Punkay won that race because of that missed throw. That was it. And we've got in chat a copy pasta coming up. Cheese outdated, Puncayshun overrated. Long have we waited for GSA to be Germanif. It already scrolled way past the screen, so I don't know what that was.
I think he's saying.
Germanificated.
I mean, it works. I'll accept it. It's a copy pasta. It was a pasta that was copied at some point. But with that, we've got Dwhatever frantically asking Domino's where his order is because he's got an hour left of Mario 64 and he knows he's going to be hungry afterwards. We've got both players now with 1 win apiece, and we'll be moving into the final game of this set. The final 70-star race to determine who will go home as the champion of GSA's Season 3 of their 70-star league. This is history in the making at this point. Dwhatever winning this next race will result in the very first GSA back-to-back champion in the 70-star league. Punkay winning, however, will end up solidifying him as just an absolute legend being able to go from winning the first season, taking a decently significant loss against Dwhatever in season 2, and then coming back to clinch this championship. I mean, it's anyone's game at this point, as we've already seen. Punkay ending up getting a 49-18, not the greatest time that we've seen from him, but ultimately, I feel like this game 3 is going to be peak form for both players. Dwhatever, I don't feel like has as, I mean, of course, after having a solid tippy like this, he's going to be going into this next race with a much more solid mentality than he did going into this one. And yet he was still able to perform so well just now. I don't see that performance slacking off in this next race, but if anything is going to motivate Punkay and be able to ensure just a dominant performance, it's going to be this pressure of knowing that Dwhatever is possibly going to put forth another 47. But he also might not. And the only way you're going to win is by just pulling out a 48 and hoping it's good enough. So this is going to go any way, either way. Who knows what way?
We're talking about the other player to actually get a 47 in GSA. So, you know, we are talking about the two-time 47er puncayshun. That said, we can get another two-time here, whatever, who can be the first player to get back-to-back 47s in a GSA finals. That would be some history right here, folks. Just an update. So the third place match actually didn't happen. Unfortunately, one of the runners was very unwell and had to back out. So congratulations to Benji64, who very, very well deserved, made it to the semifinals and is going to pick up that third place spot. And this is indeed, I think, Dwhatever's fifth 47 in a race.
And so we've got Marketator back in the call with us. I mean, well, let's go ahead and go around. Shan, what are you personally expecting from this game 3?
I think they're both going to do Locky 2 skip, and I don't think either of them is going to.
Well, I don't know about everyone else on Discord, but Shan cut out for me personally after he said they're both going to get Lakitu skip. So that's all Shan knows about this race. I mean, it's valid. It's certainly a contribution. Marketator, what do you feel like is going to happen in this game 3 here?
I am feeling like they will both kind of pick up the pace. Dwhatever, I guess you could say he's going to keep the pace. He's got a 7:54. Puncayshun, I think after the first race was thinking that he could kind of take it a little looser, maybe not try so hard. Turns out he was incorrect about that, and he's going to tighten up. And so it's going to be a much closer race. As far as who the victor is going to be, all of us. I think we're all the victors.
See, I think the real GSA Season 3 champion is going to be the friends we made along the way.
Yep.
There it is.
Exactly.
And I have bingo.
Congratulations, Shan.
Commentator referencing a joke made earlier in the cast. That's considered sophisticated.
Only the highest tier of comedy presented here.
And in the meantime, predicting a 47-49 is going to be my prediction for Dwhatever here in the next race. I'm getting real ambitious, and I'm just imagining Steve O'Broil. If it actually is 47-49, Steve, the only person watching who actually knows the result of the third race, his head is probably exploding right now. D gonna get a 47-09. If there's one thing that would be the absolute, like, the pinnacle of Dwhatever, it's to win GSA Grand Finals with a GSA world record, getting a 47 and choking world record while he does it.
That would be the pinnacle of content for this GSA pick.
Yeah, if he gets a 48 or a 47-09, that would be the absolute pinnacle of content.
Yeah, comes into the final Bowser stage on 46-59 pace, and misses the last Bowser throw, falls off the edge, throws it all away. Punkay takes the win. Nothing better than that.
There was a
That's just premium torture, not premium content.
I feel like there was an Olympics where a guy got a world record, and then the long jumpers are after him, like, immediately got world record after him. The guy had world record for like 11 seconds. What if that happens? Were both of these runners world record, but one of them world record's bigger?
Well, that if they could both get world record, but the official world record would be whichever one finished first. Right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, the official whoever. I guess you're right. Technically, if both players world record, then the winner of the race is the only person to world record, because by the time they finish, the world record is already what they finished at.
Correct.
And then you failed it. But what if one of these players decides to reset? Okay.
Ooh, okay.
And Puncay gets a really bad start, decides to reset, loses the race, but gets world record. Bam.
That would be in.
Did I just blow your mind?
My mind is thoroughly.
Just explosion.
It is exploded all over pad right now.
Races are pre-recorded from yesterday, but apparently the commentary was recorded 8 days ago on 420.
Apparently.
And looks like Dwhatever having a little bit of trouble with the Lucky to escape his screen, freezing in the middle of it, but doesn't get in his way. Manages to put in the correct VHS, in which he makes it. And Puncay having a bit of a lead here, entering Bob on Battlefield.
Yeah,
See if he can hold on to it through the backflip bomb clip. Dwhatever is known for at this point.
In order to stay on scripts, we're having to splice Dwhatever's screen just a little bit. I'm pretty sure Shantastic said they would both get Lakitu skip, and in order to make that happen, he had a little bit of splicing.
And of course, yet again, Dwhatever taking that nice lead due to both backflip bomb clip and Puncay end up getting a medium bomb there.
Unfortunately for us, as you can see from this gameplay, in Dwhatever's GSA, the script stays on him. I'm going to predict a 12-6 from Dwhatever and a 12-5 from... No, I'm going to say 12-7 from Puncayshun. I can't. I'm too scared. I was too scared.
12-5 D, 12-7 Puncay.
Okay.
12-6 D, 12-8.
Oh, look at Mr. Contrarian over here.
We'll see if I contraried correctly. 12-7 Punk or Dwhatever. And
Dual
Puncay.
12-7s. Well,
The one time I don't say dual 12-7. Like
yeah,
it
we'll
comes
see.
out.
The very first race, you said dual 12-7s, and I mean, the bomb clip situation was the same there, where Dwhatever got backflip and Puncay got medium bomb. So you were just about 2 hours ahead of the actual guess. You were right, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
and anyone
thank
that
you.
opposes that isn't.
The pre-recorded commentary is really just messing with. I can't get the times right for when I need to say the certain.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard whenever all three commentators are coming in a different way. For example, Mark is pre-recorded commentary, Shan is live commentary, and my commentary is from the future.
I mean, we have all of our bases covered, and time is a social construct, so, you know. Looks like both players got their cannon list, though. Or will get their cannon list, or are getting their cannon list. Who knows? Time doesn't exist.
Nikando claiming that somebody will miss the birdcage, even though there's no birdcage anywhere inside of this stage, and the closest thing to a birdcage just contains ghosts. And you can't really even miss it either. We got bird skip. Look at that bird. Just kidding, you can't look at him. He's not here. He's dead. Ultimately, that's the harsh truth behind Owlus. The owl just kind of died. We didn't really pay him enough attention, and poof. Yeah, F in chat for the owl. GSA hands if you got him for the owl in chat, because he definitely deserves them. He was a homie, and we didn't give him the respect he deserved until it was too late.
Looks like we've got Pro Cycle again from Dwhatever and regular old intermediate cycle from Puncayshun.
Dwhatever having a
chicken.
Kicking that cycle.
Dwhatever, this is interesting seeing he almost had that blue fly out of his hands yet again, but just barely. It was either he like adjusted planning for it to be that far out of the way, or the coin wasn't quite as far out of the way as it was in that last race, and fortunately he didn't have to waste the time on the second piranha, grabbing an extra coin.
I have to do it because someone said it in chat. They look so gosh darn like same person. I say to them, "You want ice cream cone?" Both of them say yes. What in the heck?
That's what I'm wondering right now. What in the heck? What was that?
It's called Mario Twins, and they look the same. It's like an old. I think it's from Albino Black Sheep, right? It was from the pre-YouTube days. One of the flash videos. Mario Twins.
I'm lit tired.
It's very concerning that sounded like, as speaking as an Indian, it's very concerning that sounded like an Indian accent to you. But we're gonna be picking up that wild blue star. I'm responding.
Oh!
Right, so meanwhile, there is a race going on. Dwhatever is
Oh,
making his way up to defeat the big Womp. Some people say King Womp. I'm not convinced he is King Womp. There is brown top of the head.
I mean, he is the biggest Womp, so that obviously means he's the king, right?
He's Daddy Womp.
I mean, if you saw the biggest Yoshi, you would think that's probably the leader of the Yoshis, right?
If you imagine the Womp colony as like ants, that is the Queen Womp.
He's not.
That's valid.
He's not a king because they're anti-monarchists. He's actually the democratically appointed speaker for the Womps Worker Collective. And they simply gave him a temporary size enhancer in order to represent their collective power, and just in case Mario tried to pull pretty much exactly what he does try to pull, which is clear anti-labor suppression tactics. And yeah,
I mean, it's what you
Mario
see all
takes
throughout the
union
game.
busting to a whole new, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, we've refrained from talking about this for a considerable period of time, but
And
yes,
apparently
ultimately,
decided that
this
the
game
most
is full of
important
class
match of the
warfare.
season is the best time to talk about it.
It's the best time to talk about the class warfare of Peach drilling for oil while Mario kills everyone else in her way.
But more on that on a personal project of mine. But we're going here into this race, and I'm going to predict a
12-7, 12-7.
I'm going to say 12-7, 12-8.
I'm gonna
Actually,
go back to
12-6,
12-6.
Ooh, 12-7.
Let's see.
12-6. Oh, looks like a little bit of
A bit of a swap going on.
from talking about this race.
All right, now
It's
Dwhatever
been 2
entering wing
hours,
cap
okay?
stage, Punkate just behind.
And let's see if we can see some. Ooh, the first couple of coins were pretty normal. 3 and 4 were beautiful from Dwhatever. Punkate definitely a little bit more optimized here. A little bit less so on the 3rd and 4th coins. And it looks like Dwhatever got the slight better of that exchange.
Oh, trying for the rollout tech skip, but ended up missing it. Or I think he was afraid his position was a little too low, so he decided to ground pound instead of bonking because it wouldn't lose as much time. But ultimately, Punkate is catching up a little bit through that wing cap. But now headed into Dark World, this is a huge potential turning point. One slip up could easily cost a minute, even like towards the end of the stage. And even without those major slip ups, losing the cycle that you plan on hitting could lose you like 4 seconds per cycle. So it certainly is a time for an early lead to be better forged or an early deficit to be eliminated. So let's see what happens with Dwhatever here. Almost definitely going for Shia yet again. Nope.
Oh,
Trying
falls
to
down on the
avoid
elevator.
the underside movement there, but that's pretty well going to cost him Shig. And with that, Punkate is going to be in the lead.
Yeah,
That's
Punkate
a
going for
major
Shig.
time.
Dwhatever in a negative cycle here. Oh, major time loss. And Dwhatever, yeah. Gonna be doing some scuffed double cake half cycle.
Yeah, that was like a late Shia cycle, which you unfortunately never see.
Double 30s from Puncayshun. Not the same on the side of Dwhatever. Puncayshun having what is essentially a perfect Dark World. Dwhatever struggled just a bit. But the lead has changed pretty much in the opposite direction. Puncayshun now having the 2 to 3 second lead over Dwhatever.
But it certainly is not over yet. We'll be moving on in. Oh, and Dwhatever missing the throw, though. Luckily, he didn't throw Bowser over the edge, so the time loss isn't as significant as it could have been, but this is where tilt starts to accumulate. And luckily, the next star is Sky Jump, and at a level like Dwhatever or Puncayshun's, a Sky Jump is a type of star that the main difficulty of it is optimizing it, not just getting the strat.
This is a truly welcome reset right here. And fortunately, mercifully, Dwhatever done with Bowser in the DW. So.
And now Dwhatever is moving into the stage the bomb the battlefield. And the joke is over the done.
The D star is going to be picked up, and Dwhatever going to be popping in for the skybox, and we're going to go back to saying the properly.
Super clean skybox from Dwhatever, or Sky Jump, as it's called.
I said Indude for some reason.
Dude,
Commentator unable to, I guess, like, needs to have their, I don't know, like, my English speaking skills are good, not more, again.
Yeah,
Sounds
all I
like,
know is the extra D, whatever. Okay?
I think you just need your head checked by a medicine-y man.
I think I need to have my SAT scores retcon as well. I think all of my standardized tests in my college diploma need to go the way of the expanded universe, because I don't like what's going on right now.
I can agree with that. What I do like, and what Dwhatever probably likes too, is that wall kicks will work execution.
Beautiful wall kicks work from both players.
Okay, wait, King Willem, I have to stop all of everything in the comms booth for a second. You're gonna listen to what Shantastic just said, a sentence of just nonsense words, and then come at me for saying medicine-y man? Let's get some D colons in the chat for just how absurd that concept is. Like, wow. You are awarded no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Sounds like, for me, to you have learned English better. If honest be. No lie. We're false. Not false. Puncayshun here picking up this slide. Commentator can segue out of many things, but certainly not that.
I mean, the slide is just... It's a foreboding presence. And Punkay right here, falling victim to its very last obstacle, just wall kicking to maintain some momentum there.
And more like boncation.
Oh ho.
I know it was a kick, alright? Creative license. And Dwhatever looks like cutting down the lead a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see if somehow Dwhatever is actually able to optimize the Penguin Star a little bit more. If you haven't played this game recently, you may not remember that grabbing things off the ground sucks. In particular, whenever Mario tries to punch at something like a penguin, its hitbox is exceedingly small, and so it's very easy to miss that punch and waste a lot of time just trying to grab the stupid penguin that always runs away from you.
Yeah, and if you have enough speed, you'll actually just punch straight through whatever you're trying to grab. Same things happen to bombs. Try to do like bomb clip or pillarless. But both of them are out of CCM. Very nice, cool stage. Right next to a cool mountain.
Now, folks, you just saw both players rescue a baby penguin that was lost. And if you're a parent, you know what it's like to have your child be wandering around the internet and have no idea what's going on. And you don't even know if maybe they're in a chat room talking to a stranger who's farming their IP. Don't let a stranger farm your kid's IP. Go to nordvpn.org/speedrun to get your first month free on NordVPN and 70% off your first 3 years. Just enter the code SPEEDRUN at checkout.
And I mean, on the subject of NordVPN, I constantly use NordVPN to hide my IP address while I attempt to talk kids into speedrunning.
I've
More
actually
nefarious than it needed to.
I actually think nobody should be suggesting speed to anybody. These showcases, like these races, whenever you watch streams, they're kind of like they're like the cocaine documentaries, where it's not meant for you to want to do it.
It's like
meant to stay
Tiger King.
away.
Like you shouldn't be Joe Exotic, but you can't help watching him. Just be himself.
Exactly. So if you've already tried speedrunning, we are very sorry. We're going to continue the content regardless of the influence.
But at the end of the day, speedrunning, not even once.
SBLJ, not even once.
Not even.
Oh, so you want a speedrun? Okay. Well, here's your speedrun rage quit. And here's your speedrun inconsistent strats. And most importantly, here's your speedrun broken controllers.
Here's your brain. Here's your brain on speedrunning, and it's just.
I'm
a
gonna
really
tell you all
depressed
this
brain.
one more time because some of you haven't listened. This is your brain. This is your brain on speedrunning.
This is your brain on resets. And Mips here, not quite able to speedrun faster than either of these players, clearly did not qualify for the grand finals of the GSA. With that kind of running, maybe on the JP version, slightly better competitor, may have made the top 16, still not quite.
Here's a message on avoiding speedrunning from the Global Speedrunning Association. Yep. All right, Egypt level, here we go. Straight from the chat. Tama Plus coming out from Punkay as Dwhatever gets a bomb blown up in his face.
Pulling out the stops, having a little trouble clipping into the pyramid, but gonna pick it out.
Yeah, I know we haven't really pressed this too much, but grabbing the bomb optimally for this trick is frame perfect. So that being the first time that that's happened, and also like nobody really picking up a small bomb is insane.
Chat telling us we sound like we've been hitting some dank speedrun.
We have. Have you not been watching?
Okay, Dwhatever does get the Tama this time around, and it looks like it's going to be, the stupid clean pluses that we're getting used to seeing from Dwhatever, but it's like either he doesn't grab the bomb or he's able to just do that. And now Punkay getting a very weird camera angle starting secrets. He narrowly jumped right off that second platform. If you fall off before grabbing that third secret, the backup for it is horrendous without losing a ton of time. You have to do a triple jump off of the thin rail of that sand platform. And keep in mind, like, the hitbox of the rail is visually deceiving.
Tama Plus from Dwhatever.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Dwhatever is the Tama Plus god, along with probably a few other people. But he, as the person who has specialized in doing Tama Plus twice every run for the past, like, year and a half, you have to give him a special place up at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Dwhatever's move in SSL is just out of this world. Cleaner than.
And it looks like Dwhatever going to be finishing up Talons of the Big Bird. Going to be a little behind Punkay because of that first failed plus. Did save a little bit of that time back. Definitely is less behind than he started out when he made his first successful pillarless.
Yeah, less than a second apart going on into LLL here.
Yeah, should definitely be more behind, but for really, really...
Now, let's hope this doesn't end up like the first race where Punkay misses a red and then the lead just shifts right to Dwhatever at the beginning of the stage. I want to see someone fail Lava Boost. I'm sorry for saying that, but I want to see some action. I'm just getting bored at this point. All I want to see is somebody fail and suffer. Isn't that what everyone else wants?
That's the whole point in watching speedruns. That's why I say it's like a cocaine document. Everyone wants mistakes. Everyone wants to see the meltdown.
A question from chat. A question from chat asking, since Tama created Pillows, isn't Tama the Tama Plus God? Technically, you are correct. It is a trinity. So Tama is the father, Dwhatever is the son, and then there's the Holy Toast.
It's really interesting seeing how, like this is kind of tangential, but it's interesting seeing how, like, more minor players are able to contribute decently big discoveries to the game. Like how the salt flip has become a thing in like world record attempts on Bowser in the Dark World, and its creator Salt and Ginger doesn't even have that optimized of a PB. Like he's a relatively new player to the game, but ultimately like he was able to just find a thing that no one else had found before. Just it's interesting seeing how when you have so many different pairs of eyes on how to play this game as fast as possible, you sometimes see strats come from like unexpected places.
Yeah, very true. Most of the biggest time saves in a lot of speedrunning games, not just Mario, come from people who don't run the game themselves.
Like a Gelato Beach skip came from a Spyro speedrunner and Glitch Hunter.
Yeah, Glitch Hunters are really the savior of speedrun.
I think there was another strat in this game that was found by someone that you wouldn't have really expected. Of course, the other big notable example is how there was like an easier fast 4-2 setup found by someone named 420 Blaze at XX. I did not call Tama a minor. Okay, wait, isn't Salt and Ginger's PB like a 59 or something in 70? Or am I just stupid? I'm probably just stupid. That is very likely the actual answer is that I'm just stupid.
I wonder. Okay, so we're actually. Oh wow, this race is still going on. Interesting. Do whatever actually going here into this. Gonna be going ahead and bullying these bullies. Turns out that is a standard part of the round. There's absolutely no reason to continue.
Missing all the bullies. Very strange. Do whatever. They just did not want to fall over the edge.
And Fluff just asking the inevitable question, now that we've moved past SSL, who even is Tama? Well, what is a Tama?
What if a man could be more than just a Tama?
There's the door.
And Punkay gonna be finishing up these long jumps and then going here to bully the bullies. See, sometimes I'll start a
bullied himself.
Ooh, yeah, getting a little counter bullied, but gets the counter bully. Always has the last laugh, I guess. I guess bullies laugh, right?
He gets the last bully in the end.
Season 1.
But did he really? Because that last burn cost him the lead, which Dwhatever now has going Fire Sea, or going into Dire Docks. Fire Sea.
Now, I mean, I'm sure I'm speaking for all of chat when I say this, but obviously, like, just the use of alternate voices and accents and DDD is just kind of getting old. I mean, it's such an overused meme at this point.
I absolutely.
But I mean, down here in the Mudden area, we don't really have any kind of issues with just talking the way that we talk. See, now we're gonna get to the wrangling right here. See, you got to wrangle these 4 chests real quick, and they can present just a little bit of a hassle. It can be a little bit hard sometimes to actually navigate around them properly. It's like trying to catch a pig covered in butter, right? Like you try so hard, you grip so hard, but it slips right out your hands. And that's the same way that these darn chests end up half the time. But Dwhatever able to grab that star just right out of the star spawn animation, puncayshun just behind, no lag frames whatsoever.
Absolutely, Monsieur Conan, and many thanks to you. Merci beaucoup d'avoir me joigné here in the commentary.
Can you please speak American for me?
My name is Jacques Cousteau, and we are swimming here with the sharks and the wonderful, notorious Italian plumber, and he's going to be boarding the sub. It is a submarine, which is French for submarine.
As someone who refuses to do alternate voices, I don't think I've really said much during Dire Talks time. We've had so many different characters show up. Meanwhile, Dwhatever doing front sub, an insanely hard setup, bunch of lag, bunch of precise movements. Puncayshun having a little trouble with the back sub, a much easier strat.
Man, see, Punkay looks like whenever my cousin Billy tried to catch that grease hog, he ran himself all over my darn yard, and he dug like 3 different mud puddles in my yard that crawfish started moving into, and I started getting an infestation, and then he freaking broke his ankle in a little hole that I dug for my little cat. I was gonna make him a little cat house, and then I realized a cat house ain't the same as a dog house, and I just kind of left the hole there. My cousin Billy just, as soon as he was trying to grab that grease hog, just pop, the ankle just gone.
And watching these players pick up the Manta Ray Star beautifully, no mistakes happen, reminds me of a fantastic seafood restaurant I went to in a pineapple under the sea. Wonderful.
But it's kind of moot to talk about that type of stuff at this point, because now we're advancing into Fire Sea, and Dwhatever gonna be trying to clinch off yet another lava boost to put himself in a really nice position, give Punkay a pretty decent amount to answer to, moving on into upstairs for this 3rd race here.
Seeing the double jump move right there, Dwhatever.
All right, let's see the lava boost attempt here. It's looking good so far.
And Dwhatever has been struggling really, actually, cycle in these playoffs, so it's actually really cool to see him get 3 solid early cycles in a row. Very happy to see that happen. And Punkay, well, Punkay wasn't subbed, and that's actually why he decided to go for back sub, is because he wanted a free sub and he didn't have time to go to onyx.tv/speedrun and play Golf Crash for a free gift sub. So instead, he just went for back sub. Knew that would be free enough.
All right. And I think this is actually the most stark lead that Dwhatever has had moving into upstairs. I forget exactly what the difference was last race, but I feel like Punkay was a little bit closer last race.
It was something similar. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but Punkay did have the mess ups early on. It could have been worse. It could have been better. Regardless, he's still not too far behind. Basically a Bowser.
But regardless,
Did anyone else notice Punkay walk over lava near the end of Fire Sea? I can believe it. His good ending looked a little bit strange.
Yeah, with those moving platforms, or at least like when the lava comes like up and down, if it gets like to a certain point, it's not enough area to like,
Yeah,
that
like
could have been what it was.
I believe like water and lava actually function fairly similarly, and in that same vein, like you can, if you have like a slope descending into water, you can walk a fair amount down that slope once it is covered by water and still have normal walking before Mario starts swimming. And I believe a similar type of thing is slightly present with the lava there.
Electric, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but unfortunately, we are dealing with an incredible development. Dwhatever actually getting good RNG in Wet Dry World 100, and then just as I say that, he loses
He loses a safety, but okay, at least that 10 coin box gave him a decent spray.
Yeah, that was a decent spray.
That's one thing. Like these 3 coin boxes right in a row, you need to get like a pretty dead drop on all 3 of them. You don't really want the coins flying in any particular direction.
Just an update on the score for any newcomers. Puncayshun won the first race in a beautiful little upset. Unfortunately, Dwhatever dropping some spaghetti in tip top, and then Puncayshun having the same issues in the second race, and Dwhatever manages to pick up the win with a 47.
And D with this cam here, like I don't for him. I know it saves lag frames, but like there's a point where you just have to ask, is it really worth it? You were so preoccupied with whether or not you could that you didn't stop to think whether or not you should.
So it's a little bit disorienting, kind of like that one scene with the super close-ups between Christopher Lee and Hayden Christensen, because Chris Lee was too old to do his own stunts, and so they choreographed an entire Jedi fight in episode 2 with just close-ups. Not really what I was looking for when I went to see a Star Wars film.
I love democracy.
I love the Republic.
Oh, I'm not bold enough for politics. Or brave enough. Darn it. But you know what Dwhatever's brave enough for? Wall kicks will work version 3.78, also known as Express Elevator Hurry Up.
And Punkay misses the triple jump wall kick here, unfortunately.
A nice backup, though.
Yeah, luckily he didn't fall all the way down.
Ooh, missing a wall kick. Doesn't want to miss another one. It's going to get real tight if he does. Okay.
I wonder why Dwhatever takes that cam at the start of Top of the Town here. It must be like a lag reduction thing, but I don't really see anyone else take that cam.
It could just be what he with. A lot of different runners have like their own personal preference, kind of, as long as lag's not a factor.
See, but I feel like with Dwhatever, any camera setup, like lag is a factor. That's just the whole reason that he does a cam a certain way if it feels awkward. There's a very good resource. I believe it's from Usamune, the same creator of the practice ROM. It's called the Lag Library, where you can actually like look and see what various camera angles you can do to reduce lag on any given star. I think it's mainly intended for like single star, in the same vein as like Usamune's single star spreadsheet. But the lag library is very useful also for RTA runs, just trying to find your optimal balance of saving lag frames versus using awkward camera setups for various harder strats.
A comment in the chat saying Punkay's having these small spaghetti moments and Dwhatever just isn't. I mean, outside of race 1, that's just what Dwhatever is.
Oh, as soon as you say that, Dwhatever sliding down the mountain, not getting the mountain clip. I think that's the second. No, I think that happened to Punk A last time.
Can we get a few GSA dabs in the chat? I'm dabbing right now for sick commentator curse mojo that I've got, apparently. Commentator curse out in droves today. And some Dabberino cappuccinos here in the chat. I love it. A flipped dab. Some beautiful dab trains coming out. Tama breaking the dab train. Probably gonna have to weird champ him a little. Can we get some weird champs on top?
That was okay. When I talked earlier about like being able to walk down into lava from a slope, like Dwhatever just textbook exampled that right there. That was like a pristine mountain clip there. Like he navigated as close as you could to that body of water without Mario starting to swim.
The level of optimization, especially in Dwhatever's gameplay, obviously most of these tricks, not to say that most of these tricks are things that puncayshun has done, not tricks but movement tweaks are necessarily all things puncayshun has done, but in the time that he was competitively running 70 star back last year, he was doing the equivalent of these optimizations. So it is quite incredible. Quite incredible that Dwhatever is able to do these things so consistently. Such a but puncayshun doing a little bit of weeding here, and Dwhatever going to be headed over to the hardest star in the game, and just pick it up.
Very nicely done there. Honestly, like that star is a little bit underrated for how finicky it can be to do the jump dive into the pipe to get to the piranhas in the first place. I really wish there was some kind of way for you to like triple jump dive from that like middle platform, because I feel like that would ultimately be easier.
Probably. I know we talk about like stars being easy and stuff like that, but to be honest, no star is like actually free or easy. They all have like their own events, and once you practice the game enough, like they become like you don't really think about them, you do them. But for anyone picking up this game, you'll be able to do them, but not to the extent that like these kind of.
Yeah, especially a star like what Punkay just did, getting Breezeless first try yet again.
3 for 3.
2 for 3 on Breezeless. I think that's worth saying that Breezeless is free.
Wait, did he get 2 for 3? I thought he got Breezeless all 3 races.
No, I believe he missed the one last race because I made a big deal about it.
Oh, okay.
Like I always do, for no good reason.
Oh, interesting. Huh, more like freezeless, but not freezeless because there was a lot of freezing during this race. Push was guys for over the past 26 hours.
Breezeless is 66% off.
Yes, more than 66% off. NordVPN.org. First 3 years, go to NordVPN.org/speedrun. Get 70% off your first 3 years with your first month free.
That's more free than Breezeless. Yeah.
And I personally use NordVPN to change my location to Japan so that I can use Netflix to watch all the anime I could ever desire.
Nani?
Omae wa me shinderu.
Omae wa mou shindeiru.
Gosh, people.
Which is what
Commentator booth is falling apart as we speak.
Is lit.
Yeah, indeed. Apparently, some IAs here in chat gonna be coming out.
Falling apart. Like, they're gonna be coming out as soon as I can type them out.
You can't spell esports without the E in cringe.
Very valid. Shoutouts to Cringe Esports. Commentator's gonna make us all lose brain cells. Look, we have like I think a brain cell to split between all three of us. So I mean, yeah, that's gonna be the result.
Yeah, the grocery store was actually like very low on supply. They rationed things out. It turns out each of us gets half a brain cell, and Markinator just kind of
I got left out.
Sitting there with his regular.
Look, now I don't know what kind of screwed up grocery store you go to that sells brain cells, but my grocery store sells IQ. And I still it's on a shortage. I can only get like 3 of that per day.
Speaking of heads without brain cells, Snowman's big head coming in nice and clean for Dwhatever. And Puncayshun going to be joining his opponent real shortly. Looks like, yeah, even gets a little thirsty for his troubles. And Dwhatever going to be not whirling from the pond.
Really nice movement from both here, especially on the man's head. It's not as easy as it looks to actually wall kick after sliding down like the snowman's body. In many places it just doesn't allow you to, and you just end up bonking back down to the ground.
It's really frustrating taking bonks like that, honestly. Nice deep freeze from Dwhatever.
Yeah, nice deep freeze. To be fair, the whole level's a dang deep freeze.
I mean, you might look at it and say like, oh, Dwhatever's only 1 star ahead, but that 1 star is literally 8. Why is
It's like
I'm
9
an idiot.
seconds.
I looked at Punkay going for that and thought Dwhatever was going for the same star a second time. I'm dumb. Disregard me. Dwhatever's moving on to HMC. Still in the lead.
Electric,
a nice, probably 20 seconds or so.
Accidentally changing into mirror mode right there. And here Punkay going to be finishing off this last star. And oh my goodness, can we get some Fs in the chat? That is going to be the last bully destroyed of the tournament. And just a little GSA hands for all of those poor defeated bullies. All they wanted was to cause immense pain and suffering.
Well, let's go ahead and play the in memoriam loop for all the bullies killed during today's proceedings. You will be missed, as well as all the other inorganic matter enemies that Mario has killed.
I personally will not miss any of the... I've been bullied by bullies too much. I think the just desserts that they get here facing the top runners is just that.
And see, now we can see Markinator demonstrating the traditional archetype of a character with a very deep set hatred for a specific peoples due to one of that group wronging him significantly at some point in his life. Mark, I just have to ask, what bully hurt you?
All of them. They all hurt me a little.
It's kind of a...
It'll be okay.
It's almost by
It'll
definition.
be okay. What will not be okay, however, is Dwhatever if he's not able to get this triple box jump, but he's fine. It's totally fine. We don't have to clarify what we meant by him not being okay if he didn't get that jump.
And Punkay going to be doing the same thing. Popping a kick here, backflip, double jump, and vaults over that wall. Folks,
Nice
keep your
box
personal
triple from
details
both runners.
in a safe vault.
One of the difficulties of box triple, which comes up a few cases where you're trying to do a triple jump or any kind of jump really when you clip onto a ledge, is if you just barely would have not cleared a ledge, the game is a little forgiving in that it'll just kind of snap you up on top of it, but you're immediately on the floor. Whereas if you clear the ledge with enough height, you do end up having to descend again and land on the floor. So timing jumps like box triple there can be a little bit more difficult just due to you having to consistently hit that box at the same position every time. If you have a little bit more height on one specific attempt, the jump timing could be delayed by, say, a quarter second, but that's enough for you to miss that jump entirely. And so even though we talk about stages like HMC being fairly free and a nice reprieve from all the other hassles of the run, ultimately, various things like triple box jump can still rear their ugly head and cause a lot of issues for these runners.
Yeah,
But-
in a typical speedrun fashion, turning free stages into really difficult stages just due to the tricks that save seconds.
Yeah, there is another strat you could do to completely avoid triple box jump, and it only loses 2 or 3 seconds. It's a pretty uncommon one. The more common elevator clip that you'll see loses, I think, 4 or 5. But it's basically a reverse Christmas miracle strat that you could do, with a really weird starting angle. But that strat you can get high 17s with. But besides that, we're out of the cave now. Both players have their 58 requisite stars. They have their tickets punched for the ultimate fun zone, and this is going to determine the season 3 grand champion of our 70-star league. Dwhatever with a pretty significant, probably about 20-second or so lead over Puncayshun here. Just pretty much castle movement at this point. He walks through that upper star door as Puncayshun walks back upstairs.
indeed. We're
And now
in the
Dwhatever
Pick and
enters
Love
the
and
very
home
first
stretch.
star of Tippy, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Looks like he gets that little wall kick. Going to be picking up the bounce. One
Gets a
jump.
really optimal Lakitu bounce.
Two jump.
Oh, but
But he falls off. He thought that he was going to grab the pole. I think he just didn't even hit A there.
yeah, it looked like he thought he was gonna grab the pole, and when he
And it
just
dives
didn't,
right
he
over the
was
red
not ready
there.
to back it up.
He is definitely still in a lead, but let's see
But
Punkay
it's
here.
slowly,
Punkay doing
slowly
regular Lakitu bounce setup and picks it up. Still not over. A lot of people can fall here. Gonna do the double wall kick strat as usual. Not surprised. And bam! Picks up the cruiser star off that slightly easier setup, but for a easy finish.
breezy cover.
I think that with that, Punkay is in a very slight lead, but honestly, Dwhatever
Oh my
Dwhatever
gosh.
takes a death. Just not getting the glitchy wall kick.
And Punkay definitely in the lead now. This is unbelievable.
But Punkay getting denied the side flip there, able to do a very, very nice backup wall kick there.
Looks like Dwhatever going for the regular setup. I'm not sure I like this. He's so used to doing the faster one, but looks like he's able to make it okay.
An instant pole grab there. That pole grab, I didn't mention it when I was explaining it earlier. That pole grab is frame perfect. That's partially why it takes so long for some people to grab that pole in that situation. I really feel like that was one input from Dwhatever grabbing that pole. He's not out of this yet.
He's
not at
certainly
all.
not, and he's not even in the lead anymore. Puncayshun now picking up these tricky triangles. Looks like
Left
everything
side
going
tricky
nice and
strat
seamless.
here.
Yes, indeed. And both players, yep, long jumping. Mario flying like an eagle. Score an eagle in your first game of Golf Clash. Go to onyx.tv/speedrun to play and earn points toward a free sub.
This time differential is a lot smaller than I would have expected. I gotta be real.
Like,
This is bringing up vibes for me of Dwhatever versus Benji season 2, where Dwhatever caught up to Benji during just TTC 100. I mean, I think the time differential is a little bit bigger than that, but
and
ultimately,
going for top side.
and it's working out for
Bam.
him. Not able to get the best ending, but still getting a pretty decent one. See, people in chat I see are saying he needs Punkay to make a mistake. I'm not sure. I think that Dwhatever could honestly clinch this with just the sheer domination of his optimized movement. If he's able to perform everything in TTC perfectly, even without a mistake from Punkay, I think he will still be in the lead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Dwhatever, I would say on average, Dwhatever probably had, I would even dare to say that Dwhatever on average has the lead coming out of TTC. That's how good his race TTC is. But you know, Puncayshun's always capable of that perfect performance. This is a guy with a 47.23, folks. This is the person with the second best time on the leaderboards, and Dwhatever missing the coin.
And not a huge deal, though. He was able to preserve his momentum and double back for it very quickly, skipping pretty much every ledge grab that you can, aside from that one right after the initial triple jump from the Reds area. And okay, he's not. Oh, he got invisible ceiling. Oh, that's so rare. Oh man, I will always
Still-
go for that movement that Dwhatever just had to do as a backup,
And it gets,
and gets invis walled as Punkay just clears right on through.
and now Punkay is in the lead in TTC, but with the
Oh, it takes
No, no,
No way, this is it.
no.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. I actually just dies at the very end of 100 coin. The 100% worst spot you could actually take a death. He had every single coin that he needed, just needed to grab that one last box and losing about a minute. And probably the first place trophy.
My mouth has just been agape this whole time. I am so sorry.
This is heartbreaking. I mean, this is far and away the most consistent GSA runner, pretty much of all time in speedrun, competitive speedrunning.
And
like,
I'm
this is-
pretty sure that Dwhatever has the single star record for TTC 100. He knows this star better than anyone else can even come close to claiming that they do.
yeah,
And it just,
I mean,
The clock taketh some more. It never gives you any leeway.
And that invis wall, it's like, it's not RNG, but it's like very, 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 very difficult to really consciously avoid. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's not RNG, but it kind of is luck. And Dwhatever just not getting any of it, and things just not going his way, getting a couple chokes, and this is so unfortunate for Dwhatever.
Yeah, if anyone was confused on what exactly happened, he was trying to kick in the air, and he had just a little too much speed, and so he dove instead. And if he would not have kicked, there's a possibility he would have made it onto the ledge, and at the very least would have ledge. So trying to save that like 0.3 seconds actually probably just cost him.
Yeah, I mean, taking a ledge grab like at a level like this, it feels devastating. Just Mario's get up feels like it takes a minute, even though it's only like a second or two. But like and when you're at this level, you don't think about stuff like that. You expect your ability to reduce your speed to ensure a kick is just going to be reliable, and it just, unfortunately, that skill just evaded Dwhatever in that one instance where it hurt the most.
That might not be time stop for Punkay. Okay, it is.
Oh, okay, it is time stop. The time stop range is just so little.
It's very weird.
Okay.
All right, we've got Dwhatever moving on through TTC at 67 stars, but Punkay has his 70th star. He's going to be moving right on into bits.
Yeah, for Dwhatever, one of those stars is the Toad. You know, if Punkay has some kind of meltdown like he did in the first race here in bits, there's a possibility if he were to take a death, but it's looking like puncayshun has this pretty much at his tips.
We will have to see his performance here in bits as Dwhatever tries desperately to try to forge something of a recovery here. But unfortunately, it's all dependent on Punkay, though, not getting the triple jump, not hitting A properly, and thus falling off the ledge. This isn't the lead right here, but this could be the start of something much larger. Let's see what happens here. I feel like he's not going for that angled triple again. He's probably going to be going for a dead-on. Yep, gonna be taking the safety here, wasting like maybe a second or two, but ultimately the right play, I feel like. As Dwhatever grabs his last real star, just has to grab one more from Toad, and then he'll be joining puncayshun in bits. It's all gonna come down to this. Punkay did have better luck on woodblock movement throughout. Okay, he's not gonna mess with that triple jump whatsoever. He must be watching somehow Dwhatever's performance, or just I don't know. Like it's a weird decision
in order
to make,
do that
but
movement. He's got to know. He's got to know he's. Like,
it's definitely
they
smart.
Could have just been watching the stream on the Discord as they like recorded it. So it's very possible. Barhead. And now being into the final Bowser fight, looking like it will be over. Does need to cleanse these out. Whatever, probably needs them to miss close to like in Bowser throws.
Okay, so
take this.
And his precision is just dead on right now. I don't see him missing one personally. That's two throws, one more, and he will solidify himself as the only two-time GSA 70-star league champion. Punkay managing to best the world record holder in this game. Puncayshun has never gotten a run faster than Dwhatever's top 4 runs. 47:08, 47:11, 47:15, 47:20. It does not matter. Punkay's consistency is still able to triumph at the end of the day. And with this 48-35, he is the first ever two-time GSA 70-star league champion. Congratulations to Punkay for this just ridiculous win. And congratulations to Dwhatever for his stellar performance in this. He did not make this easy for Punkay whatsoever.
No, not in the slightest. And it almost feels like Dwhatever had it like taken away from him, like right from under his feet with that death here.
I mean, that
TTC.
To be completely candid, that death should not have happened. That was a fluke, but
But
just
that's how speedrunning goes. Like that's the name of the game. You try all of these different strats. One of them goes wrong. It's detrimental.
And of course, we have Puncayshun himself in the chat, succinctly just saying, "Someone gift sub." Yep. Yep.
All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have any post-run interviews because this was recorded yesterday, due to the hour-long takedown of Twitch. So we were not able to get them here today. But again, GG's to both Dwhatever and Puncayshun.
this
Puncayshun,
is
incredible runner and incredible day of race.
this is how you close off a season. I mean, of course, we will be putting our 70 league on rest for a couple of months in preparation for season 4, but I don't know that we really could have closed off season 3 in any kind of better way. We had a 3-game final set, which is already all you can even ask for, and the endings of these runs were just all completely, excuse the pun, electric. I just this is it's certainly unfortunate how it shook out for Dwhatever, but ultimately I wouldn't have wanted these finals to go any other real way besides just nail biters all the way to the end. And
Yeah,
Punkay
absolutely.
confirming, I guess the closest we're going to get to a post-race interview is just Punkay chatting, saying that he died in Sky because he was stupidly nervous. And I can believe that. That fall was just due to mistiming a jump ever so slightly. I'm sure he hit A early. That's all that had to have been. Because when the adrenaline is just flowing through you, the game runs in slow motion. Everything is lag.
Looks like we're checking in with Punkay to see if we're going to be getting a post-game interview potentially, because he is here.
Yeah, he is.
Looks like
He is in
Punkay's
chat.
available, so it looks like we're going to be getting a little impromptu interview. Commentator certainly hasn't been muted for 15 minutes. Certainly not a thing that they've done.
Nah, couldn't be.
No, I would never do that.
And it turns out we've got him in the call with us. Puncayshun, what went through your head yesterday when you realized that you had won season 3?
Well, I was surprised. I mean, I had some really good gameplay. Race 2 was pretty bad. Like, I think every race I got like a really solid Dark World time, but yeah, I don't know what happened in race 2. I lost like 20 seconds in CCM or something, and I died on Pillar of this. I know that on race 2, my SSL time was like around a minute slower than race 1 or something. So even if I played amazing, it would have gone like a mid 48.
Yeah, I mean that was an insane race on both ends. If you were Dwhatever, what would you say right now if I were to ask you? So how are you feeling about that TTC? What happened in there was real unfortunate. But yeah, tell us how you're feeling.
You want me to pretend I'm
Yes,
What is this question?
You don't have to right now. It's 2:45 in the morning, and
It's such a weird question. I don't even know how to answer that. I mean,
did you have access to the stream?
Well, I didn't actually know his like alt. So okay, so race 3, he typed in chat that he got wrecked by TTC 100 and that he lost. And because I couldn't see his gameplay, I don't know if he was like possibly trying to get in my head or something. I don't even know. So with that knowledge, I entered Sky like extremely nervous, and I just got like a really bad angle with my triple jump. I actually didn't even triple jump. I just like fell because I realized my angle was bad. And after I died, I was like, I don't know like how badly he got screwed over on that 100 coin. So I was kind of thinking I maybe just lost the race because of that.
But
after I finished, he mentioned that he actually like died at the end.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned strats, and actually, I wanted to bring this up. What was your reasoning in terms of like deciding whether to go with Tama, whether to go with regular pillarless? I saw you mix it up a couple times, including like one regular, one Tama run. What was going through your head there?
I'm like a little weird with pillarless, I guess. I think the strat that I normally do is for the first attempt, I do like the easiest strat because I just don't like being in the position where I've already screwed it up once and I just don't have like good backups, I guess. So my thought process is I do the baby strat like first time because it's like really easy. And then I usually go for Tama after that because it's like if I screw up Tama, then I have like good backups.
Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
I just don't like the position I'm in if I like screw up pillarless the first time.
Yeah, giving yourself that little buffer so the harder strat can be a bit easier on you.
Yeah, and everyone has a certain tweak that they do for mentality, right? Like start strong because any number of things can go wrong, and certainly makes sense. Cool, and yeah, and looks like you pulled out breezeless in this race. That was a nice little cherry on top, and yeah. So
Yeah,
as
and-
far as strats go,
In your
Oh.
opinion, how free is Breeze?
I feel like I used to be better at it, and then I could just be like remembering incorrectly, but I feel like for a long time, I wouldn't fail it in the way that I feel like I usually do, which is like it won't even let me get a wall kick. Like I feel like I developed that mistake, and it's like I'm trying to get it out of my muscle memory. So I actually very recently practiced breezeless for like 40 minutes, and I got it. I think 2 out of 3 of these races, so I guess it paid off. But I go for breezes like in races all the time, and in runs. Doesn't matter what pace I'm on. I never skip it.
Now, I think, especially given how exactly Game 3 ended, it's really relevant to discuss how, like, whenever you were grinding for 70 world record, you talked a little bit about how a lot of your runs would get TikToked. You would get to TikTok clock on pace, and then something in this stage would just kill it. What do you feel like ultimately had to shift in your mentality to allow you to succeed in that stage, in like that really dire circumstance where executing in that stage would guarantee a world record and a failure would guarantee not getting world record? What do you think you had to change in your mentality to make sure that you were able to perform adequately?
I kind of like it's been a while since I ran 70, so I kind of forgot that I actually was having like a big TTC issue, which is like, I mean, in 120 star, I think I'm just like generally consistent with Tippy, but I would get like a world record or PB pace run like at least once every stream. So I think what just happened is I just got more and more used to being on world record pace in TikTok clock, and that just like allowed me to eventually just like start playing better, I guess.
well, it certainly paid off this race, and like for races, 48s consecutively are be tried. Obviously, like you were up against an extremely consistent player, but you played a great game, and Dwhatever made some key mistakes, and you pulled it off. So just great clutch, great play from both of you, and slightly better from your end, right? So what's next for you? What are you looking at for the rest of your grind? Are you looking to take back that 120 record, or maybe back to 70?
I don't really have plans to return to a 70 star like soon. I'm very 138 capable. I could probably get like a mid 138. I should be able to get the 120 world record, but it hasn't been like a super long time since I started doing runs again. So I guess there's some rest a little bit.
Yeah, maybe some time to oil the engines and stuff. But yeah, for sure. Very excited to see where it goes from here. But congratulations on that on the gold medal, and congratulations on a fantastic season. Just
And I guess like the last real question is, since you were obviously aware of the results of the race last night, how did you choose to celebrate?
I don't think I really did anything. I was just like I know I was happy throughout like the entire day, and I honestly I still feel that way. I'm still feeling good about the win because I wasn't really expecting to win, especially since I see Dwhatever just get like a 47-20 versus Cheese. I'm just like, my thought process was, if he plays good enough to get 47s, I'm like not winning probably. But my first race, it's kind of a shame because race one I was 47 pace in the sky. Race 3 I wasn't, but I was like around 48 flat pace, and I don't know what was going on with left side triple jump wall kick. I don't think it's difficult, but just randomly I could not do it. I really don't know. That really surprised me.
Yeah, was that the decision just to do the block movement there? Third race, you just weren't too sure what was happening with the left side.
I think even if I didn't read Dwhatever's comment, I definitely would have gone for it because I knew that I was like around 48 flat pace, and left side triple jump wall kick hasn't been working, so I would have done that no matter what. And I do think it was a good decision. Like, I did have a meltdown on triple jump wall kick on race 1, and it's possible the same thing would have happened in race 3, and I could have like potentially lost. So I'm just gonna do like the free movement instead of like risking just losing the whole thing.
yeah, I mean, with the full first place prize pool difference on the line, like definitely probably a worthwhile. Maybe worth it to sacrifice the 48 flat, but well, it paid off, right? Definitely paid off. All right.
Yeah.
So, anyone else got any final questions?
No, I think that's about it. I appreciate you, Punkay, for joining us here in the commentators booth, the post-run interview.
Yeah, no problem.
I think this is like one of the first times we've had an interview after a pre-recorded race, so
It's
thank you for coming through for it.
It feels slightly awkward, but whatever.
For speedrunners,
So,
that's just how it goes.
But yeah, congratulations, and thanks for joining us, and GG's to everyone who played in the season, and thanks everyone for joining. Just my last word is I'd like to emphasize, we joke a lot, but the stream and this tournament would not be possible without our wonderful sponsors. Go to nordvpn.org/speedrun for internet security solutions, 70% off your first 3 years, first month free, and onyx.tv/speedrun, and play Golf Clash, free apps for like free subs. So everyone wins, and go ahead and support the stream that way.
And of course, it's also worth mentioning that any of the runners that you see throughout all of our GSA tournaments, 99% of them all stream. So if you see gameplay that you like, or with the commentators as well, many of our commentators stream. So if you see or hear anything that you enjoy, definitely be sure to give a follow, check them out. The support is always greatly appreciated. And of course, come back around for our 24/7 speedrun content. On Friday, we will be having some of our Mario Maker Expert Mode League finals. The bronze match between Dimitri versus Doomday is going to start at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're interested in Mario Maker 2 content, come back around for that. But as far as our Mario 64 League, we'll be taking a little bit of a break going into Season 4
Plenty
in
of
a couple of
action
months.
in the meanwhile, though.
Yep, so many reruns. And of course, remember that we have all of our races uploaded to our YouTube channel. So if you're ever hurting for Mario 64 action, you can go watch some replays of our previous 3 seasons worth of races. I'm sure there's plenty of content out there for all of you. So,
Markinator, thank you so much for joining us for this 28-hour long finals.
Yeah, no, it's been a great time. I've enjoyed calming. Always a fun time to calm with you guys. So yeah, appreciate you guys making it fun and interesting.
All right.
And Shannon, Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure commentating with you two.
Pleasure's all ours.
For now, I've been Electric. Thank all of you for watching. And we hope at the Global Speedrun Association to see you again someday. But for now, peace out and have a nice day.
Peace.
Wonderful night, y'all.